have a concept. You have a great concept. You guys are doing it, man. And it's an honor for me to just be, you know, a small rock, man, in your mountain. I'm going to pop a top in your honor. Mr. Doc Walker blessed us with his presence and knowledge.
We want to welcome in our next special guest, Haley Skarupa. She's a three-time world champion in women's ice hockey and most recently won Olympic gold with Team USA.
The Cap Stadium Series is definitely my favorite, obviously. I'm a huge Caps fan, I always have been, and to be there at that game with my teammates and for us to bring, you know, our gold medals to there and share it with everyone in this area was really, really special for me, and just the support and it's been tremendous from everyone in this area, and you could feel that there at that game.
Welcome to Sports on the Hill podcast. Hashtag DC Sports Without the Politics with Carol and
you guys hear my
Robbie
dog whining right beside me?
Radio Network.
I can't.
Okay.
And welcome to episode 398 of Sports on the Hill podcast, as we are on the road to 400. We've got an interesting and exciting show tonight. I'm joined by Gil and Janaea from Janaea Talks Caps, and Gil's from the PowerPoint Point podcast, and a very up and down week for the Capitals. I got to go to the highlight of the week. We will spend a lot more time focusing on that since I want to focus on the positive and getting to take Zach to his first ever win or comeback or any of that site. So I got a lot of cool footage and stories to tell about that. But then the rest of the week kind of went a little bit downhill after that, including a loss today that I thought they put an admirable effort up against the best team in all of hockey, but still fell apart for them in the third. We'll get into that and the other two losses as well. We're joined, as I said, by Gil and Janaea. I'll start off with Gil. How are you doing tonight?
Not too badly. Kind of bummed, but, you know, it's almost to be expected at this point. I hate to say that, but with the way things have unfolded, it's not hard to figure out why.
Yeah, for sure. Janaea, what's sort of your initial reactions to the week, and then we'll get into it.
Nothing good. I'm just I'm about to bust out my wallet here after this show to go look for tickets to the game on Wednesday when they're here in Vancouver against the Canucks. And Canucks tickets, even when the Canucks are really bad, they're never cheap. They're always super, super expensive. So yeah, the way that the Caps are playing right now, it's going to hurt a little bit to drop that much on tickets. But what can you do? We're going to do it anyway because like we were talking about earlier off air, we don't know if this is Ovechkin's last year or not. So it might be the last time that he ever comes to Vancouver to play against the Canucks. So we're going to spend the money regardless of how the team looks. But yeah, we're not super excited about the way that they are coming in here. Yeah,
for sure. But maybe they'll be hungry. Maybe this guy, Mr. Tom Wilson, can get back into the lineup. I thought there was a small chance that he would even come back last Tuesday. They've been kind of dangling him in front of Caps fans, saying, oh, he might come back soon, and he's coming with the team, and he's traveling, and it's hard to know when he actually will show up, if it's all a ruse, and even if he will play before the Olympics. I don't even know. But I really want him to play for the Olympics, so I don't want any chance of doing something that injures that opportunity for him, just because I think he really deserves it. And but I'm excited that we get to talk about Vancouver being the next destination for the Caps, definitely with Janaea in a little bit. I've loved both of your coverage this week. I've listened to Gil, your podcast. One thing that's really cool, if people don't know and don't have time to listen to a podcast, sometimes you can read transcripts. And one thing that is really neat is on Apple Podcasts, it transcribes your show into full text. And so I was actually, while I was doing something where I couldn't be listening to it, I was actually reading it like an article and getting your thoughts that way. So I just thought that maybe people don't know that feature about, especially Apple Podcasts in general, that it does do a really good transcription of people's people's show. It's phonetic. It's not perfect language, but you get the idea, and you get a pretty good sense of it. But I enjoyed, and I did listen to some of Gil's show, but I enjoyed reading some of it too. And then Janae, I've really loved all of your post game, that you've done all week long. And you've gotten pretty crazed at different times through the journey. I also loved your podcast this week, especially because the highlight game was the game that I got to go to. So to hear both of your reactions to a game that I got to see live, I thought was pretty cool. So we'll definitely talk about all of that. But let's just get into it. I want to talk about going to this game. It really was kind of a highlight for me to be able to share this with my dad and with Zach, obviously. So this is like my first ever attempt at creating a wide vlog, or like a square one. So usually you either do vertical or horizontal, right? And so that's great for a lot of reasons. But a little bit behind the scenes is I shot a lot of it tall and a lot of it wide, different scenes, different things. And I was trying to figure out a way that I could showcase both. And what you could do is if you edit square, then you can zoom in on different parts of it and be able to show both footage, right? So I actually did a cool little edit stream on Wednesdays, a little shout out for my Twitch channel if you want to catch. I've been doing this weekly show from sometime after 12 o'clock to about 2:30, where I show what I've been working on videos and projects, and I edit it alongside of people and get people's opinion. And so I actually made this video live in a 30-minute, very abbreviated show. But and I'm going to walk through it a little bit with you guys, but I wanted to capture this moment and put it on my YouTube for Zach to have forever, because I just think this is going to be such a core memory for him, this comeback and this whole thing. So I am going to just play the video, but I'm going to sort of talk over it and give my thoughts. I am going to give some of the in-game audio as well, because I think that's kind of cool. But if people want just the in-game audio and not me talking over it, that is on my YouTube, and I also give some of my thoughts on that video edit stream as well. But it was a super fun game. My dad got to go to the top. We were having a little bit of dinner beforehand. Our tickets got dinner included with them, which was kind of nice, and unlimited beer at this one bar. So we went up to the top, and so we were showing him like all the different banners and all that sort of stuff from the beginning, because he had once sat at the very bottom, but he's never seen it from the beginning and stuff like that. So this was the food that we were getting, which was all like included, and the beer. And then we went down when they did the warm-ups. And so I got to show him all the different players, and we got to talk about it. And so it was very cool. And then I slowed down this so you can see that Ovechkin, is right there. And so it was cool for him to get to shout his name. And Obi was looking over at him, and so he's pretty happy about all of that. So what you were talking about earlier, Janae, you got to go anytime this year that you can, because we just don't know how many more years we got with him. So here's my dad and Zach going down to the glass. I stayed back so I could sort of shoot that moment with them, which I thought was kind of cool. And what was also nice is it's sort of like the young guys are getting their opportunities with a little extra ice time at the end. So that was pretty cool. And that he got to sort of go up close for that. And then also for him, I'm going to skip ahead just a little bit. One of his absolute favorite songs was playing. So I'm not going to play too much of it because I don't want any copyright strikes, but I love him rocking out to it. So he's very much into K-pop Demon Hunters, and so the fact that Takedown was the last song before this, he thought was very fitting. And so anyway, so it's got a great opening number for people that don't go to Caps games to see the theatrics of it. Zach was like, "What do you mean they don't allow me to bring my iPad and snacks in?" I was like, "Trust me, you won't need an iPad. Like, let's just like." And he was so amazed by the amount of screens. A lot of people don't realize how many screens the Verizon Center has. And in fact, the owner of the NHL was taken to a game this week by Ted, and he was shown around, and he was asked by some of the Caps media, would you think about having a NHL All-Star game here in the near future with all these upgrades? And he seemed pretty into the idea. So hopefully all this money that DC and Ted is putting into it, it is really changing the inside of it for the better. Like people don't realize how much has changed in the last 3 to 4 years inside of the Capital One Arena, but it's gone through a lot of different adjustments, and there are screens all the way around and cinematics and stuff like that. And I'm not going to show the whole thing if people want to see more of it, but he was very happy that so on this night was bobblehead night. And then, of course, it was very cool that they have Ovechkin in the starting lineup tonight, which is awesome because he's not always in there. So that was cool. We also celebrated Dylan McIlrath's 100 career games and promptly did this to celebrate it. So Zach got a little bit of everything in this game. So he got a little bit of a fight. And he's like. He seems pretty into it. So, it wasn't like too clean of a fight. It wasn't like McIlrath got anything too major off on it, but he held his own. And and then obviously, we weren't doing so well through the first 2 periods of this game. We're 2 goals against. We're into the third period. Not a lot to be celebrating. I kind of warned Zach beforehand, like, this is a good team. Like, we're not going in there expecting to win it, and it's just not looking good. And he really encouraged me. He heard that I had some friends that were in the building. He's like, you should go see them during the intermission, because he knows that I like to do that. I was like, are you sure? He's like, sure. So he went all the way up to 400 with me to meet some of our friends, C4, who's often on the show, Marcus, and Jared, who I'd actually never met before, but he had a lot of fun meeting them. And what was great by being up there and going back to the stairwell, it's where the free beer was. So I was like, Zach, if we're up here, like, give me 1 second and go and grab another free beer with my wristband, head down. And the third beer was the Lucky Charm. And sure enough, we scored right into this period, which is pretty exciting. Oops, sorry. So you'll see a little bit of the reaction to the goal. So it's about 5 minutes into the third. So basically, he's very excited. Big time goal. I thought that Ethan Frank, even if you take away the goal, the 2 goals that are obviously crucial in this game, I thought just from the eye test, like watching on the ice, he seemed like the best player all night to me. I was like, there he is again. Like, you could see it coming throughout the night, and that's why he kept on rising in where they were putting him in the lineup, and everyone could see that he was going. And so it's no surprise to me that he scored the first or the second goal and almost got a hat trick in this game. Here's the pull goalie. So I actually decided to shoot this moment because I was like, here, it's now or never. And so you can see that we pull the goalie, and extra men get on, and then right here, just a flick of the wrist, really great. He gets it on, and it's tipped in. So my son is going wild for it, obviously, and it's just kind of a fun moment. Because this never seems to work for the Capitals where we pull a man and, like, we score. As you can see, like, later in the week, we've tried this multiple times, did not work to this effect. But Sandin just, what an incredible game for him, just to be, like, crucial in all 3 of the goals. And so he's getting super excited because he's got Giroud going, and got Sandstorm in the ears, and it's power play in overtime. You think, oh man, we've got this, right? And you will see that I show no highlights from the power play in overtime in this video. But right afterwards, with less than a minute left, we do somehow go. And in fact, we did win. And just an incredible play by McMichael off of a rebound, a shot by Dylan Strome, and Sandin on the ice, making the plays happen. And so here's there he is, Connor McMichael, his first career overtime winning goal, which is pretty awesome for him. And Dylan Strome, I always yell bobblehead every time they announced him all day because we all got bobbleheads. We ended up getting 4 bobbleheads for the family, so we have a whole set of them now. And then there you go. There's the goal. But anyway, I'll get your guys' thoughts on it. Janae, I'll start with you. What was your takeaway from that game?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly thought that this was such a big win at the time. Like, I thought it was going to be a bit of a turning point for them. It felt like that. Like, it had that feel because they came back from down 2 goals in the third period, and then they get the second point in overtime. It felt really big, and then of course since then they've just pretty much flushed any momentum that they had down the toilet. But yeah, this was really the last highlight of the week, I think, probably was this game. But yeah, monster game from Ethan Frank. I loved Connor McMichael getting his first overtime winner too. I thought he had a really strong game before that and deserved to be rewarded. And a nice job by him there of going to the front of the net, right? That's exactly what you want. Stop in front of the net, gets the rebound from Strome, puts it in. So yeah, it was a great win, great game. And I was hoping that they would build off of it, but they've kind of done the exact opposite since then.
I don't remember how many power plays we had in that game, but we should have scored so much more in this game at so many other points, and I just kept on being like, "Oh, here we go! Oh no!" And then like even in overtime when we were up 4-on-3, I was like, "How are we screwing this up now?" Like because I was sure it was going to go to a shootout, and we were going to lose if you're not going to score there. So good on them for peppering them and just. I was listening to Janaea to your post game for that. I mean, the shot differential in overtime, it felt huge, but I had no idea. I never went back and I checked it. And when you said it was 10-1, that's wild. And then, for them in the third period, you talked about, how they outshot them, by a huge margin as well. And, so just they poured it on, and we talked about it. I told my dad, I said we just got to keep it close. They played last night in Montreal. They're not going to get here until like way early in the morning and go to sleep. Like we just got to keep it close and in the third take over. Like that's our only chance in this game. And I thought 2 goals may be too much, but I guess it wasn't. But yeah, just incredible stuff. Gil, what's some of your thoughts?
Well, I can't speak for Janaea, but you had me at free and unlimited beer to begin with. So great, but in all seriousness, great experience for you, Zach, and your dad. That's how it starts for a young boy. It's hard, how it started for me anyway. And my dad taking me to games. So great to see that. As for the game itself, not the greatest of starts. Give up a shorthanded goal first few minutes in. Never any load of bueno at all. So that was a big belly drop, and then they fell behind even further. So like you were saying, our only hope was to catch up. 2-goal lead, never the safest in the league. And so they did. I would not have been satisfied with the loser point because I thought they played well enough to deserve the win. And thankfully, they didn't take it to the dreaded skills competition, McMichael finishing it off. And thank goodness he did, because I don't know what our chances would have been in that. Janaea hit it on the head. This was a game that should have been the turning point, should have been the momentum builder into the rest of the week. I don't know how or why it wasn't, but whenever you come back with a win like that, you dig down after falling behind so awfully, so badly, and playing so badly, it's usually, the team kind of, they hit a come to Jesus moment and say, okay, we don't have to play like that all the time. And they turn it around, and I have no idea. I still have no idea why this team cannot figure it out game to game. But at least this one was, the way they came back was just a good example. A good example of what they're capable of.
Yeah, my dad, I don't think I'd ever seen a comeback quite like that. And we've gone to a bunch of games over the years. It's rare to see all of that happen in a single game, and Zach got to see a little bit of everything in it. And I don't know, it was kind of a really magical night. It was so funny, though, because I felt like some fans were kind of very jinxy fans. You sort of see those people that are like coming to the game and standing up and not paying attention and get down and don't come in during the play. Like, I get that you're in nice seats and you can do whatever you want to do, but like, there's still etiquette, right? So people are like walking around and in the wrong section, and as that's happening, a shorthanded goal happens. I'm like, and I can't even see it happen because they're standing in front of me, and I'm like, Yeah, and then they're like, "Oh, sorry, this wasn't even our section." I was like, "Oh, great, get out of here!" And then later in the game, there were these people that were leaving with 8 minutes, or no, it was with 18 minutes left in the game, before we had scored, the one. And they were like, "Yeah, I think we're gonna head out of here. It's early morning or whatever." And Zach and I were watching them go, and he was saying that they're leaving, and I was like, "Yeah, but they're probably the bad luck fans. We probably need them gone to get this win." And sure enough, it turns around, and we end up winning that game. But it was just kind of funny to watch some of the fans on a Tuesday game, and I don't know, Gil. I don't like these vault seats. I don't know if you know about this, Janaea. They have these seats up front that they have for the Caps game. They're supposed to be these high package, super bougie, things. You probably get unlimited food and drinks or whatever with those as well.
These are the ones that are now empty all the time.
The time. Yeah. Half full on weekend games and empty on Tuesday. I was looking down at that. I was like, this is ridiculous. Those are the best seats in this whole entire place, and the whole section is empty.
I've been seeing people talking about it because I've noticed it just watching on TV too, and it's such a bad idea. I don't know why. I don't know why you would do that. You're just guaranteeing that you have all these empty seats, and they're great seats, and they're right in the camera view, and it just makes it look like your fans don't care to come to the games, which is not the case, obviously.
Right, the whole rest of the building is full, except for it just looks so bad. Yeah, but
it's a bad look, really bad look.
But on the bright side, we can sell out the arena. We just found out with women's hockey. We just had in the largest U.S. ever attendance record, I believe. So that's a good thing for the sport. Maybe we'll get a team. That would be exciting. So clearly we can sell tickets to hockey events. It's just they don't seem to put the plan together correctly. But anyway. Yeah, it sucks because they were 3 minutes away from having a completely losing week, and now we get to talk about some pretty terrible games. Oh, I am going to pull back, and we're going to show some of the rest of this. But man, it was a rough week for Caps fans. All right, let's talk about at least in the next game we do score first in it. So Gil, I'll let you break this one down.
So this one they're on the power play. And as you might have heard, it was pinball-like fashion that they scored. Chychrun to Ovi. Ovi bounces it off the wall to a waiting Strome in front. Pinball-like action, as I said. Hence this. I would like to. You know what? I'm going to say it. Ovi knew what he was doing here. So Leonard over to Chychrun, back to Ovi from the circle. Looks like he's going to wind up for his patented shot. I think he knew what he was doing. The bank shot off the back wall, back to Strome, and it is the home board, so they do know, the home team does know the boards. And Strome with the great backhand shot to put them up 1-0 on the power play.
Yeah, Janae, what were some of your thoughts on this goal? And I love Ovi knowing, because that's the only difference between stadiums really is the ice surface and the bounce off the end boards. Everything else is the same, and so you gotta kind of take advantage of that sometimes.
Yeah, I said the same thing when I did the post-game reaction video. I believe Ovechkin knows exactly what he's doing here because it is in your home rink. So guys know the bounce that you're going to get off of the backboards, and it sure looked like he did it on purpose. So turned out being a great pass to Strome on the back door. But again, it's I wanted to in the moment be excited about the goal, and I was, but at the same time, it was I think I said that in the post-game reaction video too. It was kind of all right, golf clap, because they were getting just caved in at this point. And then they get a power play and get the goal. But a horrendous start to the game again. I believe the shots, if I remember correctly, were 18-7 for San Jose at the time that they got this power play goal. So it was just another horrific start. They get the one goal on the power play, which was good. But yeah, Gil kind of said it. I'm just not sure what's going on with this team game to game. It's a Jekyll and Hyde thing that they've got going on right now. Not even game to game, period to period. Completely different team comes out for every period, it feels like. So I don't know what that's about, but they've got
I just think that they have such a lack of chemistry at this point. So many different important players have been out, and they've been trying to shuffle and try to figure it out. And you try to get one guy going, and then some other guy starts to fall apart, and so then they're let's try to fix him, and then I don't know. And Protos just doesn't look the same. And I know I was listening to your post game. There's a couple of people in Janae's doghouse, that are on this team, and some in Gil's doghouse too. I won't say too much because I do want you guys to listen to their podcasts and their shows. But it's been tough to watch, defensively, how our forwards are doing, and basically screening our own goalie at times, and so it's very difficult right now, as a Caps fan, because it's just like they're getting in their own way. Especially, this is an important homestand going in front of, like, they have their longest road swing of the season that they're now in, and tonight was, or not tonight, but today was game one, and it didn't go great, and so you kind of needed these home games before you took off on this, and they definitely were not producing with urgency, as they say. The next goal that Ryan Leonard scores, unfortunately, by that point, it's already 3-1 to San Jose, because the part that I'm not really saying is right after they score that goal, like, the other team scored 3 goals in 3 minutes. And I don't even know, like, how to put that into words, like, the deflation that I felt watching it, and, like, watching the team suffer through that, and, like, the game's almost over at that point. Like, I don't know how you come. Like,
I have some words for it, but it might get the show kicked off the internet permanently. So I'm going to keep them to myself.
Yeah. It's brutal. It was like 3 goals in 3 minutes. We went from up 1-0 to down 3-1. Like, I kind of stopped.
Lack of focus, lack of.
It was just, it was goal. They gave them all the goals too.
Yeah.
That's the thing. They just kept handing the puck back to them over and over. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. Just over and over and over again. 1 wasn't enough. Nope. Got to give him another one. Two's not enough. Got to give him another one. It was brutal to watch. And I agree. You felt like the game was over at that point, because
I stopped watching. I had it on in the background, but I stopped, like, actively watching it at that point. I was like, I'm not, like, if they do something, I'll come back to it, but, like, I have to watch the kids that doing other stuff. Like, at no point did I was like, oh, I was in, and then I was not in. I was like, no, that's like, I can't put more effort than they are, right, into it. But anyway, let's get to the Ryan Leonard goal that we were hoping to get back into it here at 9:11 in the third. But Gil, I'll let you take it away.
Ethan Frank did a lot of great things, but I'm going to call this one the goal of the week. So on the point here, 2-man game with Carlson, little razzle-dazzle here, and a dipsy-do around and scores. And if you want a better shot at it, here it is. Oh, Ryan Reeves, goodbye. Bye-bye, Mr. Pylon. Revo, the Levo, and Leonard with a great shot around the screen and in. Yeah, had to get the live shot because it looked better that way. But, on the board here, great job by Marty and John here to keep it going. And then Leonard just does the rest to get it in with that great shot of his. And, I really felt like after this, again, a moment, a rallying moment, a great goal. Some effort, some puck control, and just nothing. A whole lot of nothing after this.
Yeah, I agree. Janae, I'll let you. I mean, I'm excited for our future, though, because if he can do this, like, we're set up for a long time. And I sort of started to buy back in at this point. I was like, maybe with 10 minutes left, we can maybe do it. But what were some of your thoughts on this goal and then the momentum you were hoping to gain from it?
I mean, Ryan Reeves, first of all, like, he doesn't look like much of a lion in the jungle there, does he? Remember when he called himself a lion in the jungle? No, it looks more like a traffic cone in a construction zone. But, he's just completely dances around him. It was a beautiful goal. And I agree. I felt like at that point, like, it certainly felt like they were going to come back. Like, the building came back alive. It got super loud in there. They were pushing and pushing and pushing. And it felt like they were going to get another one. But it's kind of been the story all season long. Like, they just can't find that extra goal that they need. Pretty much every game this week was 3-2 at some point. Like, every loss this week was 3-2, and they needed that one goal to come back. It was the same thing in the Florida game. I know it ended 5-2, but, like, that was 2 empty net goals at the end. It was another 3-2 game. Tonight, again, going into the third period, down 3-2. They can't find the extra goal. It's been really, really, really frustrating. I know they have some injuries and all that, and guys have been sick and stuff too, but you need more than 2 goals to win a hockey game, and they've just kind of consistently been getting 2. The one game that they got 3, they won, right? The one that you went to. So
Yeah, I know. But they were like 2 minutes away from all 4 like being losses, but also weirdly enough, I feel like a couple plays away from winning more of these games. Like they had their opportunities in them, and they definitely made some boneheaded plays in them and lost them. But even in today's game, when they got that goal overturned, I thought, oh my God, this is the door that they needed. Like if they could just score next, like they're right back in it, and like the best team in hockey is right on the ropes, right? And then of course, like just a couple minutes later, they give up a goal, anyway, right? So, but I mean, that player had 17 shots on net or shot attempts in this game. I think in today's game or something like that. So
you're down again. You're down 3-2 going into the third period, and I said it in our group chat. Right, it was halfway through the period before Ovechkin finally got a shot on net. That was our first shot on net of the third period. When you're down by a goal, like I understand it's Colorado and they're the best team in the league and all that, but like every team gets affected by like score effects, right? Like you always see the team that's trailing coming out and having more of a push. And for some reason, the Caps 10 minutes into the period, we get our first shot. Like it was just they played pretty well in the first period too. So that's the confusing part. Like I could see how Colorado can kind of cave you in the second period because of long change and like they do that to everyone. But third period,
it must be so weird to play up there, right? With the air difference and flying out there, and then you got this morning game and bad time. Not like they potentially could have the best home ice advantage, right? By having all those environmental things too. It's just weird. They've only lost 1 home game all year. Now, that's not true. Other seasons, obviously, they haven't been this good, so a lot of credit to them. But that's so hard for a team to try to adapt to on like a short, couple of day turnaround, or and try to compete in a day game like that. But it's still like, man.
It makes it. I'll give you an example. Like when I moved from out here, like on the West Coast, and we're like sea level here, right?
Yeah.
Vancouver at that time, like I grew up on Vancouver Island, so same thing, sea level. And then when I was 18 and I moved out to Calgary to play hockey at university there, went to the first practice out there. And like we did before we were going to go on the ice, we had a bunch of like fitness testing and stuff like that. Like just as you're like coming in for training camp kind of thing. Oh my God. Like we did the off ice fitness testing the first day and I was like, like, and I was like really, really, really in shape back then. But just the difference of like going from out here on the West Coast sea level to where like maybe you're one of the best like fitness tested people on your team out here, and then you go out there to a place where the elevation is so much higher and you cannot breathe. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, I guess that's so cool to hear, because I guess I never think about. So how many Canadian cities sit at altitude like Colorado does? Is it just the Flames?
Calgary's the closest one. Yeah.
Calgary's
the highest elevation.
Yeah. Okay. I never even thought about that would make a difference, and that's so interesting. So yeah, because I've been to Colorado a few times, and that altitude really affected me. So I can only imagine if you're an athlete, like even more so. I mean, I was doing a little bit of skiing and stuff like that, but not to anything to the level that they're doing. But yeah. So and then next thing we have to play the champs, and that sucks because like they're coming off of their worst loss, and maybe like one of the worst ones in franchise. So you know that they're not going to lay 2 goose eggs in a row. And so luckily we're able to tie the game, after falling behind early. I'll let Gil sort of break this one down.
Yeah, so great opening goal here. Did fall behind, but great one here. So Protas and Carlson with a little give and go, and Chychrun does his best OV impersonation with his shot. Great response here in the second after falling behind. Yet another game where they didn't start very well, then picked it up, and then just collapsed late in the third. 60 minutes, that's all I ask. But again, this was a great goal. Thought it was previews to come, but well, it was previews to come because only one guy gave them their offense this game. You kind of wondered where everyone else, spoiler alert, but Yeah. If I sound like I'm out of answers and exasperated, yes, I am out of answers and I am exasperated because I'm saying the same thing. I'm repeating myself. And that's probably how Spencer Carberry feels every blasted night talking to this team. But here we are.
I know. Yeah, I feel bad for him because I feel like he's a good coach, and I feel like he's been dealt an unlucky hand this year, and we are in sort of this inflection point in our history where we're trying to keep the old guard together enough to hopefully give Ovi one last chance at this, maybe. We're also trying to build for our future as well. We don't want to give up the farm just to be able to get a player now, just to get Ovi one last cup that may or may not even happen this year with one or two more players. Because you look at a team like we played against Colorado today, we would need a lot of players. We need everybody to be healthy and still a couple more players to be able to beat this team. We wouldn't win a cup against Colorado, in my estimation, even with our full squad, against them. So it'd be interesting to see, what we do over the next couple of weeks and months, and how we come out of this. But you can squeak into the playoffs and get chemistry and finally figure out your lines, and maybe there could be some difference there. But it's been frustrating at times to watch just the urgency level and just being able to push off pucks and just things that we're not accustomed to with the Capitals for sure. All right, let's get into this goal though that tied it by Jacob. Gil, what are some of your thoughts on this one?
Well, again, very good response, albeit a little late. See what Protas does here. I don't know what's happened to his game, but again, what the team is capable of. It's only happens in little short bursts here. Why they can't keep it together, I don't know. But this is a great play here, and just an example of what can happen if you attack the zone with some speed and some force, and you can get it to somebody close enough to the net in that high slot circle area with a great shot. That's all they need to do. They just don't do enough of it.
Yeah, Janae, what are some of your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, just what Gil said. This is why it's so frustrating, right? Because when they are playing up to their capabilities, they're a really, really, really good team that's really difficult to beat. But it's just not been there consistently this season. And good thing Chikrin came back for this game. Otherwise, we would have been shut out. But he's got such an incredible shot, and not only he has the incredible shot, but I love how much he uses it. Like, he's one of the leaders in shots on goal. Like, he has a great shot and he actually uses it and gets pucks on net. So you love to see that. I think there's more than a few guys on our team who could take note of that and do it more themselves as well.
So it's funny that you say that. When I saw the scratches very last minute of the game I was going to, when I saw he was scratched, because I didn't know that he was out or whatever, I was following the other players, and I was really bummed. I was like, oh shit, we're probably not going to win this game now. I feel like he's been such a heart and soul guy for us this season, especially when Tom isn't in the lineup. You need another guy like that, and I was like, oh shit, that's not good. And so, as you said, I'm so happy he's back because I really feel he's added stability on both sides of the ice. I know John Carlson gets an assist here, but the fact that you're able to deploy them, on different lines, at certain times and sometimes on the same line, and having that opportunity, for the power play, and it's important to have another offensive, defensive player to play off of, and he brings just so much to the team on the ice in both ways. So anyway, I was very happy with this, and then obviously if one goal isn't is good, I guess two is better, right? So here we go, and it actually helps us take the lead in this game, Gil. I'll let you break it down.
Okay, so starts in the corner. Great play by Frank in the corner. Back to the point here. Chikrin and Carlson, what a pair, and then it's Chikrin from the point with that great shot of his. And if you, like you said, once is nice, twice is even nicer. That's again, he carried the team offensively. He shouldn't have to do that, but another great play here. Look at 63 in front. That's Ivan Miroshnichenko in front. So I like seeing stuff like that because, okay, you don't get on the score sheet, but you do some of the little things you got to do. So Frank providing a bit of a screen as well, but Miroshnichenko doing the dirty work in front, providing the screen that helps the goal along. I hope he sticks, even if he's just doing little things like that. I really hope he gets a chance here and sticks.
Yeah, I really wanted to see more from Miro because he was a pretty high draft pick for us, and a lot of people believed he could be an important person in this situation for the Capitals. But yeah, I mean, look, even Nick Dowd got a point. I know you're not his favorite.
That makes up for the 10 goals against he caused in the last week. Yeah.
Hey.
Just proving I'm paying attention. Anyway, but we got this is his 10th. John Carlson almost at 30 assists here, and Jacob getting his 17th goal. Some good stuff. Janae, any other thoughts on this before we?
Yeah, just on Miroshnichenko, I agree with Gil. I hope he sticks in the lineup because I think that he could be a similar case to what we've seen from Ethan Frank. Like Ethan Frank, people wanted more from him when he was in the lineup, but he was kind of in and out of the lineup all the time, and he never got consistent playing time. And when he was in, he didn't get much ice time, and it was usually on the fourth line. And I think that with Miroshnichenko, it could kind of be the same thing that we're seeing with Ethan Frank right now, which is that if they just keep him up for a while and just let him actually get comfortable in the NHL, then he can turn into that type of player where he's more consistently providing offense. Because look at what Ethan Frank's doing now. Nobody thought at the beginning of the season that we're going to get this from him at this point. So yeah, Miroshnichenko, I say it can't get any worse. Leave him up with the team, let him get comfortable in the NHL and see what he can do after, playing 40, 50 games.
Yeah, I kind of agree. So I got a scoring update. So people that don't know, I haven't really talked about it tonight. There is the national championship game in the football, and I did say I would give scoring updates in it. This game is actually being played in Miami. For those who don't know, there's a 12-man tournament or 12-team tournament to get to this final in the United States, and the 10th seed in Miami actually beat the Aggies in the first round, and so Liz went to Texas A&M. I took them in my vows that was going to be the team I would root for, and so we decided that we would root for Miami since they beat the Aggies, and we'd root for them to win it all because that means the Aggies lost to the best team, right? So they've gone on this magical run, and they've beaten every team all the way to now are playing the number one team in the country, a team that hasn't lost all season long. But the game is in Miami because they didn't think there would be a home field advantage for the number 10 seed because they never imagined that the number 10 seed would make it all the way to the end. So just an exciting story. They just scored a touchdown to make it 10-7 now, and they're in the third quarter. So I will continue to give scoring updates if that happens. It was such an exciting way to do it, Janaea. It was a 57-yard run. So it was 2 plays, 45-second drive, and they went over 60 yards and scored the touchdown. So very excited for him. That kid's mom was going crazy for it because I think it's the kid, if I'm remembering, he's the guy who his mom drives to every game, and so they want it to be super far away. And it happened to be the championship game is in Miami, where they're from. So she was super excited to get to go. So I think that's the guy who just scored that touchdown. So anyway, a little scoring update in the national championship game. It's weird that it's already in January 19th. Usually, I talk about the first week or two in January, but because of the new format, they have extra weeks. But anyway, so we've gone kind of over all the good parts of the games because there was no more scoring, and Florida poured it on with basically some empty netters, really, and I don't know. It's tough to keep a good team down, and we had our opportunities, but we just didn't have the urgency. Gil, do you have any sort of final thoughts on this Florida game?
No, you nailed it. It was, and again, it was just where it really came down to just a brief lapse in, sticking to the strategy and sticking to the game plan. Florida ended up, I don't know, it was 2 or 3 quick goals sometime in the third, and the Caps just never recovered. And the empty netters made it look a lot worse than it actually was. But really, if you think about it, it was just that brief lapse, much like in the San Jose game, that doomed them. And again, 60-minute effort. That's all we ask, but we don't get.
Yeah, Janae, any final thoughts before we go into today's game?
Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing that Gil said earlier when I'm doing like the post game reaction videos. I think I even said it in one of the videos too. I'm like, I just feel like I'm making the same video over and over and over again because every game has kind of been exactly the same. Like each one of these losses is kind of the same story, right? Like you can't get like you play pretty well, you can't finish on your chances, you only score 2 goals, you fall asleep for a couple minutes and the other team capitalizes and then you can't come back. Like it's kind of just been the same thing over and over again. And it's just silly mistakes. Like it's really silly things. Like it's turnovers, it's Protas putting himself offside on what would have been a good goal by McMichael. Like it's just really simple, really stupid little things that they could just choose not to do. And
Nick Dowd pretending to be a goalie.
Yeah, it's oh my god, don't get me started on that one.
I
went off
that
on
is a great.
I watch.
Yeah, exactly. It's a great 7-minute rant if you want to know. If you want to.
Was it 7 minutes?
No, it wasn't actually 7 minutes, but it was long.
My stomach is still hurting from laughing so hard. But...
Yeah, I was actually listening to it on my way coming back from something doing chores earlier, and I was like, "That's pretty funny." So.
Yeah, if you don't know, quick plug: Janae Talks Caps YouTube channel. We do the post game reaction videos, and yeah, I have been losing it a little bit lately because it's gone on for too many games in a row here, where it's just the same shit over and over again. So it's
yeah. Definitely go check it out. I'll definitely put the link in chat. But yeah, it's Janaea Talks Caps over. Well, you can see our website, JanaeaTalksCaps.com, but also on Instagram and X, the same name, and also on YouTube as well. But I love your podcast, and I love your co-host. I think she does a great job breaking it down with you. So it's been fun to see the evolution of the podcast as well. Especially over the years. But let's get into this this battle, which, man, I thought that we had a chance here, especially Chychrun again, when we scored first goal against, and we need to find a way to get a power play goal and on the road, and here he is again, Gil.
Yeah, so we're on the power play, and which is, I gotta say, has improved this last couple weeks. If anything has gone right, so how the play develops. Roll that back before we get into this junk I tacked on. Okay, so they gain the zone. Ethan Frank here doing Ethan Frank things, holding the puck and then finding the open guy, and it's just Chychrun. And then there's a mini screen. So you got Leonard going to the net, also Ovi kind of sneaking in the back door, also Frank. You got this great big screen. So I love how when Chychrun recognizes that, he takes the shot. I couldn't think of anything else to add on, so I went to ChatGPT. Yes, sorry, damn me for using AI. And as you can see, Jacob Chychrun secret to success. Here it is, all here in black and white. So if we let it run here, that's this is why he's so damn good. Elite skating for his size, offensive instincts from the blue line. Duh. Physical strength and conditioning, I don't know, must be the raw milk. Willingness to play hard minutes, yeah. He gets put out against the number one lines all the time, and I think that was the knock on him. They thought he'd be a liability. I haven't seen it. But yeah, he's easily the number one defenseman. Well, maybe not easily, but pretty much impaled himself on the top pairing for life at this point, as far as I'm concerned.
Miami just punched out the ball, and then the Indiana got back on it, but they had to. It was fourth down, and they had an opportunity to kick it away. I think this is actually really interesting listening to ChatGPT's breakdown of him, because this is what we need. Like, if you were like, what do you need in traits of a player to help the Capitals succeed? This would also be all those same traits there. So we need to play more players like him to show up. And what are your guys' thoughts on, there's been talk about a John Carlson extension. I thought that this might be one of his last seasons, but that's now on the table. Gil, how many years would you do? How much money would you pay at all? Where I want to get your thoughts on that real quick.
The longer the term, the less the AAV, which stands for average annual value, should be. I don't think they should sign him for more than 2 years. I would not mind him coming back for one more year. what I'm hearing is 3 years. I don't know if I want 3 years, but it should definitely not be more than 3 years. 3 years should be the absolute max. And if he does that, it should be no more than $5 million a year if he does that. But I can see that. But every time we think it's not sustainable, he comes back and proves us wrong. So I'm not totally against it. It just has to make sense for the team.
Yeah, I can't do more than $5 million a year for more than 2 years personally. I can't. Like, he's on the wrong side of 30. Like I don't know.
Way wrong side of 30. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough to. Janae, what are some of your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, he is getting older, but it's like Gil said, it's like people keep trying to write him off and he just keeps coming back. And again, he's one of the top point scorers on the team, right? I believe he leads the team in assists. So, and that's from the back end, obviously. So like he still does a lot of really good things and a lot of really important things to help the team win. I also think they don't necessarily have an immediate replacement for him in terms of like a right shot defenseman. Like Ryan Chesley's a really good young player, but he doesn't have the offensive upside that a John Carlson does. Like Ryan Chesley's probably more of like looking at like, we're probably going to let Van Riemsdyk go at the end of the season. So that's probably like who you slot in there. But in terms of like, right shot offensive defenseman, we don't really have one in the pipeline who's ready to come up. Cole Hudson, obviously, but he plays on the left side. So it's interesting. Like I'm kind of with you guys. I would only want to see a short-term deal for sure. I think if you're stretching it out to 3 years, it definitely needs to be a lower AAV. I don't know that it's going to be as low as some people have in their minds, just because like the salary cap in the NHL is really changing really fast. Like the cap is going up and up and up really fast now. So a lot of the numbers that we had kind of like mentally attached to certain players and certain types of players, like those numbers are changing a lot. So it's kind of every contract that comes out now, everyone is kind of like, oh my God, that's way too much money, but it's not really because the cap is going up so much. So I think it's probably going to be more than people want, but at the same time, like, I don't think it should be over what he's making now for sure. Like he's at $8 million a year right now.
No, he is gonna have to take a pay cut.
Yeah, it's gonna have to come down to.
Yeah. And from what I've heard from like the so-called insiders, like Elliot Friedman and those people, like it's I know that's why I put it in quotes, air quotes. But but from what those guys are saying, apparently like the negotiations are not expected to be difficult at all between like John Carlson's camp and the team. So I guess it sounds like he's not asking for too much. So hopefully that's the case. Because I think obviously he wants to remain a Washington Capital for life. But yeah, I would be okay with 1 or 2 years. 3 for me is pushing it a little bit. But if the AAV is down because it's 3 years, then I guess that's fine.
Yeah, I'd be okay with like 3 years for 4 each, because that would free up half of his salary that can go to other players. If you were to look at it that way, I think you'd want it closer to 5 if it was 2, but we'll see. And it'll be interesting to see.
I think they'll probably line it up with, because I think it's going to be more than 4. Like I think it's probably going to be more like 6.
I know. I think it's going to be 6 or 7 is what I'm scared of. But
I think they're going to line it up with like the reason why I don't think they would go more than 2 or 3 years at all is because I do think they're going to line it up with when Cole Hudson's entry level deal will end, and he'll need a big raise presumably if he's the player that we all think he is. So I believe they'll line it up with that, so it won't be a problem really either way. But yeah, you would like to see the AAV be lower. I just don't know if it's realistic for given what he could get on the open market. Like everybody needs a right shot.
It's crazy that he could still get that on the open market. It's like I thought he was going to retire in like a year or 2. Like
you can't find right shot offensive defensemen. That's the problem. You just can't find them. So
it's like quality left-handed pitchers in baseball, and not too many of them.
Right.
Oh, did you see my Blue Jays keep trotting Brendan fucking Little out there? Yeah, I know. Left-handed pitchers are hard to come by, Gil. Hard to come by. Gives up a home run every second pitch, but hey, he's a left-hander. We got to get him out there for those left-handed bats. Gotta have him out there.
Sorry, I was hoping not to hit that sore spot, but yeah.
Baseball season's right around the corner. We got Ethan Frank, who's having a hell of a week. And, it makes it at this point, Colorado had already scored 3, but he was able to get the second goal, and I was hoping that this was going to give them some momentum here. But Gil, what were some of your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, so Caps on the comeback trail here. Dowd on the forecheck, and Roy with the great keep in here. Dowd and Ovechkin doing the hard work behind the net. Finds Frank in front of the damn net. Gee, what a novel concept, scoring from there. Wish they would do that more often. Maybe they get 2 more goals. I don't know. But yeah, so he's going to the net, and he's obviously doing the hard work. So he's getting the hard hat here. You can't see it, but it's yeah, he's red hot. He's tied for the team lead in goals, as you can see. 7 points, tied for 5th among all Caps for the last few games. 2 multi-point games, and that's very recent, by the way. So obviously, yes, he has earned his spot. You're not going to hear Ethan, Frank, and Hershey in the same sentence probably ever again, at least not for the rest of this year.
Wasn't he an AHL All-Star the last 2 years?
He was. Yeah. He was. I'm pretty sure also he won the AHL MVP one season, if I remember correctly. So this is not really a surprise. Like Janaea said, put him in the lineup, get him comfortable, get him in the right situations, let him show what he can do, and this is what you can expect.
Yeah, for sure. Janae, what are some of your thoughts on Ethan Frank's resurgence here?
I don't think we will hear Ethan, Frank, and Hershey again, not this season, because if they were to make the stupid mistake of putting him on waivers, he's gone. So it's, there's no way that he would go unclaimed with the way that he's been playing. And he's been one of the only guys that is consistently putting the puck in the net right now. So he's doing a really great job. He's obviously got a bunch of tools, like, he's got the speed, he's got the shot, he's got some quick hands in tight as well. And I've really liked his play away from the puck too. Like, I think he's working really hard defensively, doing all the little things that would make it so that, like, there's no reason that you would take him out of the lineup, especially with the goal scoring that he's bringing. And yeah, he's been hot recently. I'm hoping that it keeps up for him, because I think he's worked really hard and he deserves what he's getting right now.
Yeah. And I talked about it earlier in the show. There was opportunities in the third. They scored a goal, and I left to go get dinner for Liz and myself, and I was kind of disgusted. I was like, well, I guess this game is over at 4-2. And then as I get in the car, they're reviewing it, and the radio guys are like, what the heck are they doing? Like, I'm not sure this is good, but I know that this is our chance to get back in the game. Like, it's kind of, I don't see how it's possibly that it's going to go this way. And then, of course, it does go our way. And they're like, backtracking, like, it was brilliant, And I was like, oh, this is the thing that we needed. Like, we finally get a replay, going in our favor, because I really still don't understand what goaltender interference is. But what doesn't matter, for once, maybe it's in our favor. And immediately they score again. And I was like, oh, well, I guess that just staved off 2 minutes of misery, and it's just.
I think at that point they just ran out of gas. It sure did look like that to me. But that replay, the first thing on my mind was, oh my God, don't review it, don't review it, don't review it, and they did. And the more I looked at it, it's like, okay, so Emily Engel-Natsky is the main video coach for this team. This has her fingerprints all over it. I'd be willing to bet she was the one that picked up on the fact that Marty Necas, in front of the goal when that happened, clipped Charlie Lindgren's stick and actually held onto it. And that was what they deemed the goaltender interference. That's why the goal got called back. I couldn't even see it until they replayed it like 4 or 5 times. But she managed to get it within 2 minutes. That's why they called the timeout.
She had smart to give them the timeout, to give them the chance to review it.
Yes, they did.
So well played by the coaches. It's hard to steal a goal back in this league. And I thought that was going to be an important moment. It was not. Janaea, what are some of your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought the same as you. Like, I thought, okay, we finally get a coach's challenge to go our way. So, like, you're kind of given second life at that point, and you would hope that they would take advantage of it and at least get down there and get some zone time and some shots on net. But no, they just continued to piss around with the puck and keep handing it back to the Colorado Avalanche and getting hemmed in their own end, and then Colorado gets another goal right away. So it kind of like the win against Montreal. It felt like a big moment, and it turned out not to be because they just didn't do anything with it after the fact. So, but yeah, a great job by the video staff. It was what you thought was going to be a big call at the time.
Yeah, it's just the Avalanche is such a very fitting name for this team, because I just feel like they cave you in, as we were talking about earlier, at times, like defensively, but then also just like the goals just come in these waves, and like you have to be on the whole time. And I thought we played pretty well through a lot, big portions of that game, and we were able to resist a lot of it, but it's just they keep coming at you in waves, and I mean, I'll be shocked if they don't win it all this year. If they stay healthy, they seem like such a dangerous team. I haven't watched a lot of their games, obviously, but I know we have a lot of friends, Gil, that do watch a lot of their games, and just in their descriptions of them, this is exactly what I hear from other teams that they have to face. And man, it's it's good to see, a team could be so dominant, and it's something to aspire to, right? So,
they're almost it almost looks like they're playing a different sport than everyone else. Like
yeah.
they're so fast and they're so quick.
They called it off at the end of the game. It looked like something out of like Mighty Ducks, where it was like, we don't need to score anymore. We're just gonna settle back down. You know what I mean? Like, it just felt like they have this like engine that could rev up, and they could have just probably poured on 2 or 3 more if they really wanted to tonight. And they were like, I think we made our point. And because. Man, it could have been a lot worse, to be totally honest. I felt.
I do think that like you go into a game in Colorado this year against this Avalanche team, like you kind of expect to lose this game. It's kind of like a scheduled loss, anybody that goes into Colorado this season. So like, I'm not actually too mad or too disappointed about this game specifically.
Right.
What I'm mad and disappointed about is what you said earlier, which is that this loss wouldn't have mattered all that much if you would have beat the teams that you should have beat earlier in the week, the Nashvilles, the San Jose's. Like, that's what makes this loss in Colorado now pretty unacceptable, because you can't afford to drop any more points. So like, if you had just taken care of business earlier in the week, then you can have this scheduled loss, but we're not afforded that luxury because of the games and the points that you've lost to teams that you probably should have beat.
Yeah, and it's not going to get any easier. It's not a easy week. Right now we're in 4th place, and that actually means that we are like a couple of points outside, or 3 points outside the last wild card spot. And
it'd be 7 though. We've played 2 more games.
Oh yeah, that's true. Indiana just scored a big touchdown. 5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter here. So yeah, and they're like behind a Toronto team that we thought was terrible a couple weeks ago, right? So like somehow they've even fallen behind them, and yeah, it's. Anyway, the teams and games that we got upcoming. So Janaea is going to the Vancouver game. Then they're going to play in Calgary on Friday. So it's a 10 o'clock game for us on Wednesday, 7 o'clock for Janaea. We got a 9 o'clock game on Friday. And then they have the double dip where they have to play Calgary and Edmonton back-to-back, a 9 and a 10 o'clock game, which is pretty brutal. And then we've got a couple more games the following week. Seattle, Detroit, to end the home game and stuff. The road trip before coming back to playing Carolina on Saturday the 31st. But just a brutal upcoming trip. Janaea, real quickly, talk about some of your thoughts about going to the game. I'm going to refill my water before my next segment, but your thoughts on the upcoming week as well with Gil. You can talk about it for a second.
Yeah, I mean, Vancouver, if they lose to the Islanders tonight, okay, let me just set the scene for you in Vancouver right now. If the Canucks lose to the Islanders tonight, they will have lost 11 straight games. Yeah. So if the Caps do not win this game, against the Canucks. They don't even have Thatcher Demko right now. They've got like no-name goalies in net every night. If they do not beat this Canucks team with no Thatcher Demko, no Quinn Hughes anymore, they just traded Kiefer Sherwood, who was one of their best players all season. Like, if they do not find a way to get 2 points in Vancouver on Wednesday, I'm calling it. We're done. They're cooked, because this is a game that you cannot have more of a must-win game than this as far as games in January go. Like, this Canucks team has been so bad. You can ask any Canucks fan around here. Like, they're not just having a bad season, they're having their entire organization is just bad right now. Like, the vibes around the team, the whole organization, everything is crap right now for the Canucks. So
they've lost 9. For people that don't know, they've lost 9 in a row in this month, and they lost the last one of the last month as well. So in this calendar year, they've yet to win one. They are currently playing right now against the Islanders. So we'll see if they can get there. I'm kind of actually hoping that they get a win there. So that way, like, they don't like need to get the monkey off the back, and then they can give them their first scheduled loss after that, you know. But we'll see.
I watch a lot of. That's what I just said to Gil. Like, if they lose to the Islanders tonight, they're gonna have lost 11 straight. If the Caps don't come in here on Wednesday and get 2 points out of that game, we're cooked. It's done. Call it a season. Start planning for next year. Sell at the deadline. It's over. Like, you need 2 points out of this team that has not been able to beat anyone for over a month. And they've traded away all their best players. They don't have a goaltender. Like, it can't be overstated how much they need 2 points in that game, whether Tom Wilson's playing or not. Find a way to get 2 points. Even with the guys that we have out of the lineup, you should still be able to easily handle this Canucks team, who I've watched a lot of their games this season, and they are garbage, hot garbage. So, like, this is probably the worst team that we've played all season, the Canucks, in the state that they're in right now. So if you cannot get 2 points against this team, I don't know what to say.
Right, because then you got the Calgary and then you got the Edmonton. You know, it's a tough. That's your easiest game. And you kind of have to win, in my mind, the Calgary and the Vancouver one, because I just don't think we're gonna be able to win in Edmonton on back-to-back. You know, like going into Edmonton for that one. That's gonna be a tough one. So.
It's funny. Calgary fans have been complaining all season, and it's actually true. Like, I've noticed every time I look at the schedule, every team that comes through Alberta, they all go to Calgary first and play Calgary like when they're rested, and then they all go to Edmonton the next night. So Edmonton gets every team tired, right? And Calgary gets them all rested. It's kind of bullshit, but
it is. Yeah. Anyway, all right. Well, I'll let you guys give your final thoughts. I'll start off with you, Janaea. Everyone should definitely go check out Janaea Talks Caps, the podcast, and the reaction videos. I know that she'll have an interesting one for today's game coming up that she's got to record. But any final thoughts before we let you go?
Well, I could just rewind the last one and just replay that one.
Exactly.
It's the same game over and over again.
Scribble out the logos and
yeah. I was asking Sunita, I'm like, does the iMovie thing have like a rewind feature that we can just go back? Yeah. It's literally the same game we're playing over and over again. But no, yeah, if you guys don't follow me already, it's Janaea Talks Caps on YouTube, or I have the Facebook page under the same name, Janaea Talks Caps, where you can get the YouTube videos and the podcast and everything over there. Post some funny memes and stuff as well, and updates about the team and whatnot. And yeah, I'm probably not going to make this post-game reaction video until tomorrow, to be honest. I need to sleep on this one, but I just need a break. This team it's getting exhausting right now to watch and talk about them, and I'm just hoping that, like, when they get some healthy bodies back, maybe it'll get a little bit better, because they were playing so well, like, for a large chunk of the earlier part of the season there, and then it's just kind of fallen off the rails. So yeah, hoping that they can have a good road trip coming up. Like I said, I wasn't really expecting a win in Colorado tonight, so I kind of just tossed that one out the window. But for these next 5 games of the road trip, I think at the very least, you have to beat Vancouver. You probably have to beat Calgary. You probably have to beat Seattle. Like, the Edmonton one, I think, is going to be tough. But yeah, it's going to be tough, and then it doesn't get any easier when you come home. So we'll see what they can do. But until then, this has been good therapy. Just talking about.
There you go. Well, you're welcome to come back at any time, as you know. And then I definitely want to talk to you about the Olympics. So we got an exciting couple of weeks coming up. So this again was episode 398. So next week we'll recap these upcoming games, and we'll take a look at the upcoming ones after that, which is again Carolina, and then they play the Islanders, Philly, and Nashville all before they go on their big break. And then we'll come back for episode 401, 402, and 403 talking about the Olympics, with 401 also being talking about the Super Bowl as well. So a lot of exciting stuff coming up in sports for sure, and looking forward to getting Janae's thoughts on them, because I love especially the Winter Olympics. You know, Canada is such a big part of their culture up there, so it's as it is for the U.S. too. But I feel like U.S. makes a bigger deal about Summer Olympics for the average fan, right? But I've always been a bigger fan of the Winter Olympics for obvious reasons, and we're all very happy that NHL is back in the Olympics. Some years we don't get that, and so this is obviously a better year for that. So
because you guys rule the summer, we rule the winter.
Exactly. But it's weird. I'm gonna probably be rooting for Team Canada in hockey just because of Tom Wilson and Logan. You know, and so I'm excited to see them on the big stage, and I hope that they. Maybe if they could get gold, wouldn't that be great if they could like pole vault that into like something for the second half of the season? I've seen stranger things happen. So
Tom Wilson, golden goal. Everybody.
Exactly. It's a lot better than when Sidney Crosby does it, so that's for sure.
On a shitty little muffin through Ryan Miller's legs too.
I know, exactly. The one will haunt us for years.
That was 2010. I remember it like it was yesterday. Like I cheered so loud, and then I realized it was Crosby, and I was like, oh, like, I'm gonna have to hear about it forever.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's 2010. Wow, that's wild. So yeah. Anyway, time flies. But Janae, thank you so much for everything, and we'll definitely have you back on in the next couple of weeks to talk about a whole bunch of different sports. So
sounds good. Yeah, I look forward to talking about the Olympics.
Yeah, it'll be fun. All right, Gil, final thoughts, and I know that UNC4 had a very spirited conversation this week on the Power Play Point podcast. Any thoughts on that and your upcoming show before we let you go?
Yes. So yeah, it runs a little long, but I promise you it's chock full of good stuff. It's, I think, one of the best episodes we've had recently. Do please download and listen to it. Put a lot of thought into it. Yes, we talk about potential trades. We play the role of armchair GM. I make several proposals. I'm not going to tell you what they are here. You've got to listen to the show. I'm not going to post it anywhere else. You got to listen to the show. I want you to hear this. I can't emphasize that. This is probably the best we've done all year. So if you want a good barometer of how the Caps are doing, listen to this episode. You want comedy on what a sad situation this has been? Listen to this show, please. I'm begging you. I don't really care how many listeners we get, but I really think this one conveys the idea of this team is this close to being a dumpster fire, but we're still having a good time watching them for now.
Right. It was so good to see C4 at the thing. I was hoping to get her on tonight as well to talk about seeing them. It's funny, every time I see her, I feel like the game turns around. In all the games, somehow she's been at every game that I've been to recently, and I see her, and then the luck suddenly just shifts, and so I'm always happy to see her, and especially on a bobblehead night, and it was fun, and I was also going to let you, Gil, give a shout out to one of our sponsors, that I thought that is a sponsor of your show and might be also taking us to another game leading up. If you could give one quick shout out to them before we head out of here.
Do appreciate that. Yes, shout out to Empowering Education, who is sponsoring the Power Play Point podcast this year. Shout to their owner and founder, Audie Wood. It is a nonprofit organization started in Kentucky, setting roots right here in the DMV. We're going to be starting an 8-week course, and what we do we teach financial literacy to high school age children. So if you're interested in that, go to the website. It's empowering-education.org. You're interested in enrolling your child or donating anything like that, find out all about us. I think it's very worthwhile, and take some time to go over that.
Yeah. Sounds good. Yeah, he's let me be enrolled in it as well, so I can follow along. And I think it's a really important program for a lot of people. And I'm excited to go to a game, hopefully at the end of the season with him. We may even get to go to the very last game, home game of the season, which may be an important one against the Penguins. So that would be very exciting. Regardless, I think it's an important cause, even whether I do get to go to that game or not. And also on a great cause, we got Miami just scoring a touchdown here. They just brought it within 4 with the extra point coming. So that game is getting exciting as the fourth quarter just started. We're 3 seconds into the fourth quarter here with the extra point, and it is up and good, which makes it a 14-17 game. Indiana's still up over hometown Miami in this one, the number 10 seed. So thank you both so much for a great show tonight. You've picked up my spirits even after 3 consecutive losses, which I appreciate. And we'll hopefully have some more exciting stuff next week as we will have an interesting Canadian swing. Janae, I hope that you have the best time on Wednesday. I hope that you bring home a very important 2 points as well. So we'll talk to you guys soon.
I'm off to buy my tickets online, so wish me luck.
Yes, good luck. I hope it doesn't break the bank too much. But Gil, I'll talk to you next week as well.
All right. Night, guys.
Have a good night.
All right, with that, we're going to switch gears and bring the No Spots podcast team and duo of Ken, the champ, DC's People's champ, and we'll also bring in Dan, the Dark Sith Lord, as well. We'll start off with Dan. How are you doing tonight?
And here's the funny thing, guys. We could be getting a massive snowstorm this weekend so bad that, and then cold air coming on top of it. My birthday is a week from Thursday. Imagine me possibly still snowed in for the Royal Rumble weekend.
I know. I'm kind of excited that I plan to do all my fun activities that were not in the house this week, and because I was looking at next weekend, like Liz was like, "Do we have anything planned next weekend?" We were like looking at the weather. I was like, "Nope. I guess we're planning to have a blizzard." And so, it's like 4 to 17 inches is the range, champ, which is like
here it's like 19. You put the two things together, it's looking at 27 inches divided by 213, which would have it in the top 10.
Hey, Sith, I got to remind you of something. You're a podcaster, not a meteorologist, okay?
Yeah.
Let's stop with the Sith math.
The most snow that we actually got in history, I saw this earlier today, was 21 inches at the airport back in 1940. And I'm like, oh, Lord.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be that bad.
You know what's funny, y'all mentioning this? There's 2 thoughts that came in my head. One, I only will believe it when I see it because meteorologists can be wrong a lot. And 2, they just had the celebration of 30, well, not celebration, but remembrance of 30 years ago, the blizzard of 96. So how funny would that be? 2 weeks after the 30th anniversary of the blizzard of 96, we get another blizzard.
Yep.
Imagine.
Champ.
Yeah,
and this breaking from the Fightful Awards, the event of the year, all in Texas.
Not mad about that. Not mad about that. All in Texas was good. Was a really good show.
It was awesome to watch.
It's been an interesting couple of weeks. I hope that you guys had a good long weekend. If you had one on, if you did, we got to celebrate MLK Day at Zach's school, where they do this thing where they make sandwiches and cards and all these different things that you can go. And so many people came through that they finished 2 hours worth of projects in 1 hour. That's how many people showed up and gave their time and doing all that sort of stuff. So they made all the sandwiches, all of the they call them blessing bags, where you give out these bags to different people, homeless people that have things that they couldn't use and stuff like that they put all together in the bag and stuff. So I thought it was really cool and special for my kids to see that and understand giving back on an important weekend. We also, yesterday, went to this amazing dinosaur park thing that's indoors, and so they had a blast at that. And so it's been a fun, cold, had a little bit of snow on this weekend as well. But I was excited that hockey was earlier today. Also, wrestling was earlier. I got to watch a really exciting title defense in Raw earlier today. And so that's always nice when you don't have to watch it live. We can react to it sort of in the post. But I thought that the tag team match was great. The three versus three matchup with the Vision. I really like the GM of Raw a lot, and so I think whenever he gets involved in the action, I follow him on social media, and I think that he's really a great character, but also person, and so I enjoy when he. Yeah.
Good old Adam Pearce. By the way, Adam Pearce, Scrap Daddy, right. former NWA World Heavyweight Champion. So he's a former world champion. Right?
Yeah, and he'll stick his nose in it, right? He's not afraid to.
Hey, when you're a former world champion, you can do shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly. I like him accidentally leaving the brass knuckles behind. Accidentally. So, whoops! I forgot about those.
Scrap Daddy don't give a fuck.
And I gave Champ an update in the WWE chat that we have with Robbie and C4 and myself and Champ about an update on Javon Evans.
Oh, what was that?
And it's a positive one.
Oh, I missed it. What was the? Give us the update.
They said physically there's nothing wrong. They were evaluating him for a concussion. And right now, according to PW Insider's Mike Johnson, he is traveling with the roster. So the injury that he had during that commercial break that had to end the match, thankfully he's not seriously injured and he's traveling with the roster. So that's a good thing. But it's like what Champ and I have said time and again on those spots. Someone's got to teach Javon. It's good to be bouncy. It's good to take these risks. But you got to be a little less wild. Got to scale it back a bit.
Yeah. Champ, what were some of your thoughts on this week's Raw?
The main event was the best part of the show. Point blank, period. Everything else on the show was good, but that main event was what did it. You had Finn Balor in his home country of Ireland going after a world championship. CM Punk's up there in age, but the man can still go. And him and Finn put on a great... What really made this so much fun for me was the fact that Finn Balor didn't use his Judgment Day entrance that sounds all eerie and evil. He used his old theme and really got up for this matchup. And I thought that was a great touch right there to bring up his old music and let him go out there and be the true Finn Balor. And he was able to showcase that against CM Punk and really put on a great match. I really thought that he was actually going to walk in and win the title. I was thinking here, are they going to pull this move here and have him actually win the title in Ireland? But no, he didn't. But it was.
I thought they were going to as well. And I think that's good that they had that anticipation that a title could drop right now and the energy. I also like that there wasn't a lot of play by Judgment Day and stuff like that. They just let two guys go at it. They left the peripheral because they could have, that, right? They could have, made it dirty, mucked it up, brought somebody else out, and I like that they just kept it, straight up, and it was a really great match with a lot of near falls.
To be fair, Robbie, the only members of Judgment Day that were present in the venue were all the women. And I seriously doubt that they would have made much of a difference, especially with CM Punk. Right. So that's probably why there were no.
Maybe a distraction. I don't know. There could have been an angle, but I agree. Or maybe they could have had more people in the back that we just didn't know about. But that's true.
Well, I mean, JD is out. He had surgery on his hand. He had a broken hand or something like that. So he's out. Dom's dealing with a shoulder injury, so he's out. So, I mean, they really don't have anybody else other than Raquel, Roxanne, and Liv, and they had already gotten involved in some shit earlier on in the night. So, I think it would have been overkill to have them come back out and be involved in it just because it's Finn Balor, Judgment Day, what have you. But because basically Finn Balor was the face in this because they were in Ireland. So that's another reason why I think they didn't do the shenanigans, was because of the fact that he was so over as a face because they were in Ireland that they didn't want to dirty him up in his home, on his home island. So they had him go straight up with CM Punk. And even though he lost, he still put on a fantastic
and the fans loved it. And in the end,
the fans were all over it, bro.
Right. And I like that at the very end that they were super into. I thought that CM Punk did a good job of, playing him up at the end as a great, warrior and, lifting him up, and because they don't have to do all that in the end, often people just roll out of the ring and they get their moment or whatever, and so I thought this was a really great moment to sort of unite everybody, and the fans really got behind that as well. So
I'm going to say this. The last several shows they've had in the UK have removed the stench of the closing of Clash to the Castle 2022. And Champ knows damn well what I'm referring to.
And Drew McIntyre's gone on record saying he hated that ending segment with him and who the fuck was it? Tyson Fury and them singing and shit. He said he couldn't stand that shit.
I remember Champ. I remembered this earlier. Champ and I were live reacting to this on Twitch. And for the usual, where it comes to a PLE, we wait for the show to completely end. And all this singing is happening. And I remember them starting American Pie. And I'm like,
I was so confused. I was like, what in the fuck? I was like, what the fuck is going on here, bro?
I was thinking, did these guys smoke some bad weed or do a tab of acid that didn't work out or something? Because this is just
So this is an incredible catch in this national championship game. It was on
nice back shoulder throw too. That's why he's the Heisman Trophy winner. That's why he makes throws like that.
But what a great adjustment by the receiver to get back to it and get himself open for it. And man, what a play! Keeps him alive. I mean, I think if Miami
that was 4th and 5 right there. That was 4th and 5. They give that up, man. Miami's got good field position to try to take the lead. Yeah. But instead, Indiana holds on to the ball. I honestly thought, I'm not even going to lie to you, I honestly thought Indiana was about to run away with this. The way that it started off 10-0 early, I thought they about to run away with this one. But no, Miami is showing that they are a scrappy bunch, and they stayed in it, and they got 2 rushing touchdowns from their running back. And I love the fact that they keep showing his mom, because his mom is just lit right now because her son's out there.
That 57-yard run was incredible.
It was great. It was great. And I love the story that they told after he had the touchdown about his father, his father passed a couple of years ago, and he has a ritual where he texts his dad every morning and whatnot, which, I wish I'd have thought about that after I lost my father, just texting his phone just to say hello and stuff like that. And that really hit me hard because, with me having lost my father just recently, and this kid's going out here and just playing some good ball. I don't know if he's an upperclassman or underclassman or not, but I think that if he has one more year, double T. That was double T. He threw that to a double T. You better be careful with that.
I know. Are they going to go for it, or are they going to kick the points here for 4th and 5? Oh, they have to call a timeout because they can't decide.
They need to take the points. 24 got away with a PI.
Yeah.
He was grabbing on his jersey. He got away with a PI.
Yeah, but now it's decision time. They're down to their last timeout too by this. So we'll see.
I mean, I think here you got to take the points and trust your defense. You have to. You're up in the national championship game. Yeah, it's still plenty of time left.
And Miami has already donked it. So you got to believe in the donk again.
Exactly, because Beck is not throwing as good as he normally would. So they got to rely on the run game. If you can stop the run game, they're showing the doink right now. If you can stop their run game, they're gonna have to rely on Beck, and I don't know if he's gonna be able to carry it. That's my thing. Seth said he wanted to shoot on something. Go ahead, Seth.
Yeah, I think WWE needs to learn a lesson from this month. We're just starting, Cody Friday night, and then today on Raw, a whole bunch of people decided, okay, I'm in it. Where it comes to the Rumble, I think we may have overbooked the month a little bit by having a Saturday night's main event this Saturday night. And then, guess what? The Rumble's the following weekend. Yes, we have a lot of good elements of surprises that are going to show up at the Rumble, but we had an ultimate important episode 2 weeks ago, the anniversary on Netflix. And then you had to get to that build to Saturday night's main event. And honestly, until last Friday when Cody declared for the Rumble kind of felt like a little bit of an afterthought because the month was being booked the way it was being booked. So I think WWE...
Get fucked!
I was waiting.
How? How? How did he do that?
Yeah, I know. Wild. I'm about 5 seconds ahead of Champs. I was waiting for Champs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, Geno Smith. I think you done lost your job, son, because this guy's going to take it.
Yeah.
Likely he's going to lose his job.
Yeah.
Mendoza's going to end up being the starter in Las Vegas because he's getting drafted number 1.
Yeah,
there ain't no way.
Incredible.
There ain't no way.
They had him dead to rights at the 3-yard line, and then he just powers through. Anyway, sorry, Seth. That was just a very exciting and a very important touchdown.
Yeah, my bad. And that was on a 4th and 5 when we said, "Yeah, take the points, take the points." And then he says, "Yeah, we're gonna take the points, all right. I'm just gonna run it in, break about 15 million tackles, and just dive in." That's why he's the Heisman Trophy winner. Jesus Christ.
We've had Saturday night's main event like the middle of next month, in the dead of February. That way you can come out of it pretty good, come out of the Rumble, have Saturday night's main event, then do your builds towards the Elimination Chamber as well. Instead of treating one of your big four, oh shit, we're 15 days away. We gotta start calling out people for the Rumble.
Yeah, I didn't like that. And I'm glad you're shooting on this, Seth, because I'm glad you said something. Because if you didn't, I was going to say something. We have been following WWE, me and Seth together, a combined nearly a century almost in terms of watching wrestling. I may be exaggerating that quite a bit, but we've been watching wrestling long enough. You know that when it's Royal Rumble season, they start announcing participants at least 3 weeks prior to really build it up. They are waiting till nearly a week before the Rumble before we finally find out who's going to be in it, which is Cody. And then we got AJ Styles. Now
AJ's
people
going to go up against Walter, career match.
Yeah, I saw that, but he could still be in the Royal Rumble unless he loses that match. But yeah, they waited till just close to 2 weeks before the Royal Rumble to start announcing participants or having people come out cutting promos saying they're going to be in it. And yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of that at all because, that could leave, as Sid said, at least open the possibility of a lot of surprises, which we haven't seen a lot of surprises in Royal Rumble matches over the years. We haven't seen that. So it would be great to have a Royal Rumble where we get a lot of surprises. You know who I'm expecting to be in the Royal Rumble? The man who just won the TNA World title, Mike Santana. I'm expecting him to be a surprise in the Rumble because they've done it last year with Joe Hendry. They did it with Jordan Grace and Mickey James as the Knockouts World Champions. So I would highly expect Lei Ying Lee to join the Royal Rumble on the women's side and Mike Santana on the men's side. That's my prediction right there. If anybody wants to clip this, so that I can show that when Mike Santana does come out in the Royal Rumble, I would greatly appreciate that. What's up, Seth?
One for the women. After the events of this evening in London, in Belfast, Ireland, not Natalia like we're used to, but GCW, NWA, AAA, the Indies version of Natty in the Women's Rumble.
I think we might see that now that she did what she did to Maxine Dupree on Raw, costing her the Intercontinental Championship. I would not be surprised if we actually got Natty in the Rumble and not Natalia. I would not be mad about that. And if anything, I would be rooting for her to win it. She probably wouldn't, but I would be rooting for her to win it if she came out as Natty and not as Natalia. And I think that's where we're finally getting that. We all wanted it. And I think we're finally going to get it from Natty. We're finally going to get Natty, the true Natty, and not Natalia. Speaking of that, the Intercontinental Championship was successfully defended by Becky Lynch. I'm going to assume that Becky's going to be in the Rumble as well. She's won a Royal Rumble, so why would she not be in the Royal Rumble as a mid-card champion? Because she's not going to defend the Intercontinental Championship at the Royal Rumble. So most likely she'll be in the Royal Rumble match itself and things like that. But yeah, I mean, Raw was fun to watch. I got to watch it, on my day off, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I can't wait to see what's going to happen with Saturday night's main event this weekend. They already have, I think, 3 matches that were scheduled.
Well, that's what I loved about SmackDown this week is that it set up, the fatal 4-way for it, which I thought was a smart decision, to break that down. And I was really happy with all 4 people that got into that. What were some of your thoughts on that, Seth?
We enjoyed those 4 matches to set up to having a fatal 4-way this Saturday night in Montreal at the Bell Center. Hey, people in Montreal, this is the closest you're going to get to a championship. Get it? Got it? Good.
Shut the fuck up. You always do that shit. That's why he's a heel. I'm the baby face.
Yeah. And Donnie's he's a heel.
Donnie's a heel. He's a heel.
Yeah. James Stallone babyface in our little group.
Right, exactly.
And Hector's even a heel at times too. He can heel it up too. He swears he's a babyface, but Champ and I know better. But anywho, like the idea of a fatal 4-way to determine who's going to be the next, the number 1 contender. I like the idea. All the matches on Friday were solid, to say the least. And one thing I'm saying right here, right now, Carmelo Hayes, for people who, like myself, were like, oh, God, this kid's talented. Now he's showing what we saw in NXT. And now Solo, even though I'm not much of a fan of the MFTs, because I think we've overdone the bloodline shtick. Guess what, though? He's coming out here where it comes to Solo, and we're finally getting the Solo that's not obsessed with the bloodline type in ring, but we're getting the Solo we had in NXT that made him stand out before he got called to the main roster, and then ended up in the causality with the bloodline stuff. But overall, I like the idea of a fatal 4-way Saturday night. The women's tag team titles are also going to be up for grabs as well. I am right now thinking that Rio will retain. And I think overall this is going to be a fun Saturday night, because also on Paramount Plus, you have the debut of UFC on Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
And I find that to be very peculiar, because they moved the start time of Saturday night's main event to 8 o'clock. And that's going to be during the preliminary show of UFC, which the main card usually starts, I think, at 10. So if they go by what should usually happen with the Saturday night's main event, what they'll probably do is, if it's off by 10, they'll tell us, if you have Paramount Plus, go join the UFC fight night that's over there. knowing them, as well as promote the fact that, next Saturday's the Royal Rumble, 2 p.m. start time here on the East Coast. Champ and I would be on a week from Saturday at 1:55 for that, for live reactions. And to tease the next 2 weeks of no spots, this Friday, we're reviewing TNA Genesis, which I thought was a really good card. Champ, do you want me to send you the grades in a document that Bleacher Report did for that one or no?
Sure, why not? Fuck it.
Yeah.
We've never done grades from Bleacher Report for a pay-per-view, so this will be a first.
Yeah. So, y'all are used to me kind of sort of live reacting to the grades from Bleacher Report nowadays. When Champ and I do a live reaction to a pay-per-view, well, now Friday night we'll have the Bleacher Report grades and the final analysis of that on Friday night. Then a week from Friday, I'll be gifting another sub. By the way, Robbie, you got a gifted sub
Oh, thank
on
you.
our channel.
I appreciate that.
Yes. Those are at random. So people have like a 1 in 200 plus chance of getting a gifted sub. But
Nice.
next Friday, I'll be giving that out. Might squeeze in a second one if I'm in a good mood, because that is my birthday weekend, next weekend. Whoa, I got to plug in my computer.
Sounds good. Yeah, no, I'm excited for this next couple of weeks. It should be really fun. Hockey season. We got Olympics coming up, and Dan, do you watch any of the Winter Olympics?
I do. I watch a little bit of the hockey, but my main thing is like skiing and bobsledding and stuff and the luge and stuff like that. But I
Nice.
do like the Olympics. I prefer the winter games over the summer games, but I enjoy watching the Olympics. It's, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm excited. We've got a really exciting, on my YouTube channel. Oh, I won't spoil it but something exciting coming for you, champ. So the we got episode 700, or sorry, 700th YouTube video coming up this week. This is actually the 699th.
And then he tells him, hey, just be quiet. Just be quiet.
Yeah, there you go. Big time touchdown there to make it 20-24 with extra point coming with 6:37 left in the fourth quarter. This championship game is getting down to the wire. I like it. And so
it's so funny that all of their touchdowns have come on run plays.
Yep. 21-24 now. Extra point is good. So anyway, 700th video on the channel will actually be a Wednesday Edit Live, which is my new show that I'm doing on Wednesday afternoons. And we're going to actually live edit a compilation of 700 shows and talking about what I've done in that process that will then be the trailer. So it's very meta. I'm making a show about a show, celebrating shows. And so then that trailer that I'll make from that will then live on that channel as like the 701st, I guess, video, but it'll be to celebrate 700. I've reorganized the whole channel so people can find videos because there's so many different content on that, whether it's sports or the obviously the scuba stuff is all really taking off very quickly, the spin-off channel, so I'm really proud of that. And so the week after we celebrate 700 this week, we're going to be back to night dives and celebrating night dives across the channel over the last 13 years. Will be the videos that we'll talk about there. So lots of fun stuff. And then the week after that, damn, we've got 400th episode of this podcast. And then right after that is the Super Bowl and Olympics for 401. And then 402 and 403 will be Olympic recap episodes as well. So just so much fun stuff coming up here over the next couple of weeks. I'm really kind of excited about it. Dan, so I'll have to ask you, do you want to, I know that your time is short, do you want to recap the games from this week, or do you want to just let us go and I'll talk with Champ and
promote the basement real quick and dip out because I am just drained.
Yeah, no, go for it.
Sits Basement now on Apple Podcasts as well as Spotify. This past yesterday's episode, the top 35 worst movies of all time. Before we get into that, it's the top 10 worst of the year. You'll be surprised. My worst movie of the year is not Ice Cube and War of the Worlds, although I hated that movie. Oh, but this Sunday at 5 p.m. East on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, it's one of Robbie's favorite things, because Robbie knows about my favorite movies. Well, this is the best one of every year in my life, where I will not only reveal the best movie of last year, but I also have some honorable mentions thrown in there as to what the best movie beat out. Because last year I saw something like 63 movies in all.
Wow.
And
so wait, you said a countdown of every movie of your life? Ain't you like 150?
No. Smart ass. Nah, it's 52. It's going to be a lot of fun, though. Some of the rankings have actually changed. I know that 1986, that changed because of a rewatch a couple of weeks ago. It was a movie that ended up finishing up 1986 to be the best movie, where it's an 80s teen classic where when a finale scene happens with a car, I'm like, that's it. This is the best movie of 86. 87 switched up as well, where it was actually the first R-rated film that I saw with my dad in theaters. Took over the nostalgia for Good Morning Vietnam, which is an excellent movie. So it's a wide, diverse thing of movies there. And I said 52 movies. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So that's Spaceman. And Champ will let y'all know what's happening for No Spots.
All right.
You're muted. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. I appreciate it as always, Dan. And it was some exciting football, and so I am excited to break down that in the next segment. But we appreciate your wrestling thoughts and obviously your movie thoughts. 60+ movies is incredible. I'm excited. My goal every year is to try to get to 20 movies a year. So you're like triple that. So
when you have a Fire Stick, you can watch a lot of stuff that hits streaming. So it's like, hitting on the Fire Stick.
Yeah.
And I'm going to leave y'all with a funny note to segue into the football talk. Note to the Commanders fans who want the Buffalo coach that got fired to replace Dan Quinn. Shut up. You look like morons. Just fucking stop.
Yeah, I kind of agree. But I was surprised. It's weird to think that the coach of the Patriots has basically been the coach for 370 days, is now the longest tenured coach in that whole entire division, right? So, like, that's the sport for you, right? Like, even it doesn't matter, you get to the playoffs every year, all that sort of stuff. You don't succeed in the playoffs, after a while, you're out. Doesn't matter. Yeah. So, anyway. Well, thank you so much, Seth. We will definitely talk to you soon.
Thanks for having me. You guys take it easy and be well, everyone.
All right. So definitely go check out Seth's podcast as well. And he does a great job over there. You can now, the link also has the Apple Podcast.
I'm gonna need for Arun to like sit down somewhere. This motherfucker said in our Twitch chat, RG3 for head coach. Fuck off.
Who said that?
Arun said that bullshit in the Twitch chat.
Come on, man. No.
Nah, ain't Arun supposed to be on this shit? Nah, get his ass on here.
He's on. He's probably picking a different background. He likes to do the surprise.
Nah, get his ass in here. Damn it.
Yeah, there he is. He's in chat now saying RG3 for head coach.
Get his ass in here.
Yeah. All right. I will. This game has gotten very good, by the way. It's very close. Oh, there he is. He's in the office again. So.
Hey, Rue, we're not having RG3 replace Dan Quinn. I don't give a fuck who it is.
Yeah.
Ticket sales will go up.
Fuck off.
I don't know. I don't know if they will.
Good first take a lot.
I do want to get your guys' take before we get into the NFL action. I do want to talk about, there is one thing that was Commanders news, and that's the new stadium renderings that we released both on our Instagram and on our Facebook page. And Champ, I'm so excited. So it's going to be a clear roof. It's going to, so you can see so it still looks like you can see the sky above it. and it's supposed to reverberate sound back down for 70,000 fans. I still have questions about how much tailgate room there's going to be comparatively to the old system, but the stadium itself looks really nice, and it seems to fit with the other monuments, and it looks a lot better than the early renderings. What were some of your thoughts, Champ?
Some of what I've seen online, and I could see it in these renderings, is that this stadium is going to resemble two previous iconic venues for sporting here in the DC metropolitan area, that being RFK Stadium, where the site is going, where this new stadium is going to be built up from, and then the old Capitol Center out in Landover, where the old stadium is going to be. But I really love the design. I love the glass roof. That seems to be a trend that is starting to become a thing. Look at US Bank Stadium, look at SoFi Stadium. Those are just two of the examples of them utilizing glass on the roofs of these domes and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure Minneapolis learned their lesson from the Metrodome when it collapsed under all that snow about a decade ago or so ago, and I really love what they've done with it. I feel like they most likely will have some spaces available for tailgating. Yes, they're going to be doing a lot of in-structure parking and stuff like that to sort of make up for the lack of street parking that's going to be available. But one positive about this whole thing is that this stadium is literally going to be, I think, about 5 or 6 blocks away from the Stadium Armory Metro Station on the blue, orange, and silver line. And that's going to leave a lot of being able for people to travel to these games and not have to worry about getting out and dealing with traffic and things like that. I mean, there's still going to be that because I've been in that area, and you can see that bridge right there. That's going to be heavy with traffic in both directions after a Commanders game. I can guarantee it, because people are going to be trying to go around the circle to try to go through southeast to get wherever they got to go, or they're going to be coming back in the other direction, trying to get on 295, either northbound or southbound, to get where they got to go. So I feel like but it looks absolutely beautiful. I mean, it's breathtaking almost just looking at these renderings. And I love the fact that it's going to be a dome stadium because, I mean, Rob, you brought it up. It makes it an all-purpose, all-year-round venue for like concerts, other sporting events, and the thing that me and Sith can't wait for, a WrestleMania. Because a WrestleMania here in DC, please take my money, and especially if it's at that stadium. Oh man.
And DC's now proven itself as a place for wrestling, with John Cena's last match here and, breaking all those records. And, Liz brought up an interesting point to me was like, what about the heating and cooling with all the direct sunlight going into that thing? Wouldn't it be like a magnifying glass, shooting like, it'd be interesting to see how it's heated and cooled, to support all of that direct glass everywhere, because I could imagine in the summertime it could get pretty hot in there, right? So... but yeah, I mean, it'll open up opportunities for sporting events, but also concerts and other things in times where the Commanders are not playing there, right? There's a whole time period between February and the summertime, where artists don't come to FedEx Field because it's too cold, right? But this won't have that issue. So,
and not only that, but also we can possibly finally be in the running to get a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
How crazy would that be?
Or even like an Olympics when you combined all the different stadiums and stuff between here and Baltimore, so.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you bring the Olympics to the Mid-Atlantic region, you already have some really good venues for some of those summer sports. Like the Care First Stadium in Southeast, you can have your women's basketball tournament there, and then of course Capital One, like the Cap One Arena will be for the men's on the men's side. If you do Olympic soccer, you have both M&T Bank Stadium and you would have this stadium
and
to
Audi
be
Field.
able to do that, and Audi Field, absolutely. And then Olympic golf, they would probably go to Congressional.
Right.
out
And then
in
not to
Rockville.
mention all the colleges that are in the area too, that all have stadiums and other things and facilities too. So I think it opens up a lot of opportunities for our future. So I just wanted to showcase some of these beautiful pictures and renderings and put them so-called on the record, right? And people were really engaging with that content on social media that we were sharing with earlier. A lot of people having their thoughts on it. Some people saying it should be the Redskins, and I have to keep on telling them the only reason that this deal even got made is because they switched the name, right? So because DC had already said they would never have them back with the old name. But yeah,
people are never going to let that go, and it absolutely just bothers the fuck out of me. We're the fucking Commanders. Deal with it. Yes, I still have jerseys and gear that say Redskins on them, and yeah, I wear them from time to time. But I'm not one of these Delulu fans that's going to sit here and be like, "Oh, they'll change the name back then." No, it's not. It's not going to happen. Sorry. Keep your memories, but get with the present.
I wear the Redskins jacket every day, and I get so much compliments because it's like an old school, almost like starter jacket, right? And so people are like, "Oh, it's so old school," and so I'll rep them all the time. But I also realize that they're not going back. Both things can be true. So, but anyway, I just wanted to showcase a little bit of that before we get into our football talk. Arun, any thoughts that you have on the new stadium before we jump into the week that was?
No, I think you guys covered it. They have that new plaza instead of the tailgate, and we'll see how that plays out. And $3.8 billion to build the stadium, so it should look pretty nice.
You would hope. So, all right, let's get back into it. Here is the schedule for the week. I want to thank everyone for tuning in across all the different platforms tonight. And we got H-Rod in chat, who I know is a friend of Champs from the No Spots podcast. So thank you to Sith, and Arun also joined us. But also earlier we had some gift subs from Tina to a friend of ours, Dreaming Truth. And thank you, Champ, for your resub as well. So a lot of great support tonight, which I really appreciate as well. And H-Rod did mention earlier, if Indiana wins, does this give Vince McMahon a big head since his grandson Declan plays for the Hoosiers? So
he already has a big head. This ain't gonna do nothing like that. He's already got a big fucking head.
Yeah, we got 2nd and 1 here for Indiana. It looks like it's just a false start. There's a minute 55 left.
Well, the pressure's on Indiana, man. They got to hold on to this ball and keep Miami from having a chance to win it.
Yeah, but there's a false start. It's getting loud for Miami. It's crazy that there's a home field advantage for a number 10 team.
Well, I mean, it's the stadium they play in, so I'm not surprised.
Isn't this in?
It's at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. This is the stadium they play in. That's why they have the home field advantage, even though they're the road team.
I thought that this is where the professional team plays, and they had a different arena. They play
no. The Hurricane. Only reason why I know this is because I'm currently playing a road to glory as a quarterback for the Miami Hurricanes, and they play at Hard Rock Stadium alongside the Miami Dolphins.
I did not realize that. There's not many teams that play
at NFL stadiums.
Yeah, I guess. No, I don't know. In Atlanta, I was wondering if one of their teams play there. They might. But
even Hector just said it, like they're the home. It's their home stadium, but they're the road team. They're the visiting team because of the fact they're the 10th ranked team, while Indiana is number 1.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I just assumed because a lot of big cities have a big college stadium and a big
NFL stadium.
So Benson's writing in chat, go Hoosiers, because he's a big fan of the University of Florida, so he roots against all the other Florida teams. So here we got 3rd and 5 with 1:51. But while that play develops, let's take a look at the week that was for the NFL. It started off interesting. We got the Bills and the Broncos on. Right, that was the first Saturday game, and so In this game, there was a field goal early by Denver that they scored, then a touchdown by Josh Allen that go up 7-3. Then it went back. Bo Nix scores a touchdown in the second quarter. Then a field goal ties it in the second. And then a touchdown by Bo Nix with 29 seconds left. And then they get the ball back and they get a 50-yard field goal attempt. So they go up by 10 going into the second half. In the second half, they score another field goal to take a 13-point lead before Josh Allen scores a touchdown to cut it to 6. And then they get another touchdown to take a 1-point lead, and then a field goal to take a 4-point lead. Then Bo Nix gets a touchdown himself, take a 3-point lead, and then a field goal with 5 seconds left from 50 yards out ties it at 30-30. But unfortunately, Josh Allen continues to be winless in overtime for his career, and a 23-yard field goal is up and good after some questionable calls in overtime, including what many believe should have been a catch. I'll start there just because that's like the topic everyone's talking about. Champ, do you think that it was an interception, or what were some of your thoughts on that crazy play in overtime?
Let me tell you what I get paid to do. I get paid to be a recruiting coordinator for a consulting firm. Let me tell you what I don't get paid to do: be a referee. Okay, so yes. to shorten up the answer that you would like for that question, I can't tell you because I'm not a referee.
Yeah.
All I know is that this game right here, to me, I don't know about anybody else, but to me, this was not only the game of the weekend, this was the game of the playoffs. You had two young quarterbacks and Josh Allen and Bo Nix. Bo's never been here before. Never been here before. Josh has been here before. So you would think that Josh would definitely outplay Bo in this instance, but instead they played almost near even. Denver has a very stout defense. Unfortunately, here the defense was bend and sometimes break because you had 30 points scored in this game. But offensively, they were able to do just enough, and Josh Allen didn't do him did him a lot of favors with the turnover in overtime, which led to the Will Lutz field goal to win it. And I think that Denver's a team of destiny. I mean, they had that long win streak of 10 games, which got them into this position to be where they are. By the way, I just saw Ray Lewis on the sidelines for Miami. Miami still has a chance, by the way. They're up. They're down 27-21, a minute 42.
Yeah, they held them to a field goal, which is crucial. They don't have any timeouts, but they've just under 2 minutes, and anything is possible at this point. And,
absolutely, anything's possible. I mean, they're showing some highlights from what they've been doing in the college football playoffs, and so it's possible. But back to Buffalo, Denver. Again, this was a great game here, and I think Denver just showed not only why they're a team of destiny, but why they're such a scrappy team, and they managed to make these come from behind victories or win these close games. And they showed it here, and now they get to sit back and wait to find out who's going to come to their house for the AFC Championship game. But this was game of the playoffs right here. This was a fun game.
Arun, do you have a thought on whether or not it was a interception or a catch or what or neither? You know,
that play, I was kind of confused. Like, it could have been just watching it. It could be interpreted either way. I think the other one was the pass interference call that ended the game, where I think that one also is generating a lot of upset people. But in live time, I thought it was an interception, and watching it, it's kind of like it could go either way. But I think since they ruled it an interception, I'm kind of like fine with it being an interception, even though I don't think
that he had. I understand that he had the knee down, but I'm not sure he had control over it. And like,
yeah, that's like kind of where I'm at too.
Yeah, because like I understand. Like, well, it's like if you take a screenshot and it's a still and it looks like it's control and down, that's fine. But if you look at it in real time, I don't think he had control and down, you know, and it was so easily ripped out.
At best, it could be catch and fumble.
Right.
Honestly, it could be catch and fumble.
Or hit the ground incomplete or something.
Or incomplete even. There's an argument there that it's, you know, that It was trapped, and so thus neither of them get it. It's there's enough for a narrative for all of them, which of course goes to the conspiracy theories that people are already.
They want Josh Allen to be in the Super Bowl. I thought some thought in the second half. I was like, they want Josh Allen to be in the Super Bowl because they'll get higher ratings, but it doesn't really. I don't think the conspiracy.
Well, I don't think that they thought that this young quarterback was also going to be injured when they were doing the conspiracy. So.
Well, yeah, that's right. Bo Nix suffered a broken bone in his ankle and is out for the rest of the freaking playoffs. They got Jarrett Stidham is going to be the man that's going to try to take it to the Super Bowl.
He hasn't played in 2 years, champ. He hasn't played the whole last 2 seasons.
That was a bad penalty by number 97, bro. That was bad.
Yeah,
roughing the passer. Oh, that was a bad one right there, man.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, we'll see. Oh man, it's gonna come down to it. This is an exciting ending.
Clemson is nervous.
Yeah, exactly. But I agree. This was a great game. It's kind of funny because I really didn't watch a lot of the first 3 quarters, but I did sit down for the last, the ending.
And the end of the first half was terrible. They Josh Allen, that turnover to end the first half led to the field goal for the Broncos. That was a terrible turnover. They should have just kneeled it down or played it more conservatively. But he threw a pick, and the Broncos got 3 points. It was like a 10-point deficit at halftime.
Yeah. So this game is coming down to it.
Yeah, I'm trying to watch it. First down for Miami. Miami's staying in it though. I'm not gonna lie to you. They staying in it.
Yeah.
And they're being smart because of course, in college, on a first down, the clock stops. So they have some time to figure it out.
For a lot shorter period than it used to, champ. It's just till the ball is set and then it goes again. Used to be where it would actually stop the clock, and they've changed it to much more like NFL rules. Which NFL, it doesn't stop it at all. So I agree that there is a slight difference there, but it's definitely
seeing more crazy comebacks, I guess, in college because of that rule.
They got Michael Irvin and Ray Lewis on the sideline trying to get these guys going. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, they're the good luck charms, Arun. They've been on their sideline for this whole run.
Yeah, they even had a Michael Irvin impersonator on SNL.
Right.
Oh God. All right, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this other game here while we got that going on. Let's talk about this other game. This other game was crazy and not in a good way for the 49ers. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Well, Seattle went up by 7, 10, and then 17 before the first quarter was over. Then the 49ers come back a little bit. Oh no!
First, 49ers came back a little bit. By a little bit, it meant 2 field goals.
All right, and then a touchdown by.
Happy.
Fuck. Anyway.
Oh, sorry.
The flag on the play. It's too many people celebrating.
Yeah, it's celebration flag. It's not gonna be
It's not gonna matter. It's over. Game's fucking over. Indiana is your national champions. Yeah, there's the flag, but it doesn't. Like I said, it does not gonna matter because they just need 1 or 2 kneel downs and it's over.
The worlds have reversed. Indiana's won the national championship, and Nebraska's undefeated in basketball, or they were recently, anyways.
Yeah, it's over. God dang! But Miami played such a great game.
Let's see what Benson's saying in Twitch chat.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It says unsportsmanlike conduct, but doesn't matter. But anyway, sorry. It was a really exciting game, but anyway, just a bit of a bummer for sure.
So back to this ass whooping.
Yeah, back to this ass whooping.
Because that's what this was. This was an ass whooping.
Yeah, I felt so bad. I just felt like they just kept on getting injured, and they just kept on falling further and further behind, and just the whole season just kept on I'm super happy that they were able to knock out the Eagles, So they did their part, but I thought that Seattle would be too much for them to overtake, and man, this game was pretty brutal at times. I mean, it ended up being 41-6. There's just it's crazy. They didn't gain them by that many yards, but it was just overall just a badly played game by the 49ers, and they just couldn't score enough on offense. Arun, what were some of your takeaways?
Yeah, the Kittle injury was probably just whatever hope the 49ers kind of had. I think there was some talk that Darnold had an oblique injury coming into the game, but this game was seemed like it was over after it was 7-0, that quick 7-0 touchdown, and that's they doubled their point output from the last game, the 49ers, but it wasn't good enough, obviously.
Yeah. Everyone who lost the turnover battles this week lost the game, and I just think that's when you're playing against a defensive team like Seattle. I mean, well, also there's the opening, letting the run back score for a touchdown. I mean, in a game where you could barely score touchdowns in the previous time you played them, that just completely, I felt like, deflated everything from the get go. Champ, what are some of your thoughts?
The run game was what did it for Seattle. I mean, and it's going to be their run game is going to be missing a key piece next week for that NFC Championship game. Zach Charbonnet had some kind of knee surgery this week, so he's done for the playoffs most likely. So it's going to all fall on Kenneth Walker to be able to carry the load. But I think that the oblique injury was real to the point that that's why the run game was far more pronounced in this one than the pass game was, most likely because of that oblique injury to Sam Darnold. So now he'll have another week to try to deal with that before they take on their opponents next week. But the run game was definitely what was the catalyst for Seattle just curb stomping San Francisco out of the playoffs. And I mean, Seattle's another team right here that seems like they're destined to be successful like this. This was just a statement game, honestly, for the playoffs, because one of the things that we always talk about, and Robbie brings it up a lot, that week off, the rust, is there going to be rust? Seattle proved and Denver proved that there's no such thing as rust when you're playing in the NFL playoffs and you have a week off, because they both went out and played extremely well against a division against opponents who had already had games the week prior. And I think that this, I'm glad that they brought it down to where it's only one bye instead of two. But clearly, having the bye is definitely more beneficial than not having the bye, as we saw this weekend, both number one seeds advancing.
Yeah, for sure. I felt bad for Anna Knox. I was hoping that they would get a big win. The next game was the Patriots and the Texans. We've got yeah.
Go ahead.
Drake May scored a touchdown and a field goal by the Texans, and then the Texans actually take a lead early in the second quarter, and then C.J. Stroud scored or had his pass intercepted for a touchdown, 14-10, and then Drake May got another touchdown, make it 21-10 before the second half, and then a couple of field goals in the third quarter, bring them back a little bit, but then unfortunately, Drake May gets another touchdown in the fourth quarter. But overall, just felt like Houston didn't have enough. It was such a crazy day where both games were in the cold and in the snow, and it just felt like Houston and LA later in the day just couldn't handle some of this adversity. But I'll start with you, Arun. What were some of your takeaways from this game?
Yeah, the Texans' offense was pretty sloppy. They had a couple drop passes, but C.J. Stroud is not really the same quarterback he was even his rookie season. And I think the Patriots had a little bit of a scare in the second half when the Texans defense played really well, and they kind of jumped out to at least they scored all the points in the third quarter. But in the fourth quarter, that booty catch I think was a great play. One of the best catches in the Patriots playoff history, and if they go on to the Super Bowl anyways. And I think the run game of the Patriots was very solid. They went to the I formation to close out the game, and they were the much better team, and their defense clearly was the key of their win, along with Drake May and his clutch play, I guess.
Yeah. Chad, what are some of your thoughts on this one?
The talk coming into this game was all about that top 5 defense of Houston. Everybody talk about, can Drake May handle a top 5 defense in the playoffs, this, that, and the third. But everybody forgot about New England's defense, and they reminded them of that. 5 turnovers. Listen, you're not going to win many games with 3+ turnovers as a team. You're not going to win many games. And with C.J. Stroud, it was clear he's not used to the cold and the snow. He had a lot of throws that was kept getting away from him, and he threw 4 interceptions. A couple of those interceptions were actually really good interceptions, but when you have 5 turnovers as a team, you're not going to win many games, and that's what ended up happening here. They just could not get out of their own way. New England was able to do what it needed to do and was able to limit the turnovers. They also had 3. So it ended up being 8 turnovers in this game, which was the most combined in a playoff game in NFL history. So they're on, as my good friend Big Hurt would say, the wrong side of history. But good game, and congrats to New England. They now move on to go on against Denver in Denver for the AFC Championship.
Yep. All right. Then the last game, this Bears-Rams game was really exciting. We got a touchdown for LA to start up 7-0, but then the Bears come back and tie it, and then they actually take the lead with a field goal with about 1 minute and 10 seconds left. But right before the first half ended, they were able to get their own field goal to tie it 10-10. And then it's kind of a new game going into the second half. And then no scores in the third quarter. In the fourth quarter, about halfway through at 8:50, there was a touchdown. LA takes a 17-10 lead. And then with 18 seconds left, they come all the way back and score a touchdown, ties it up 17-all, goes to overtime, and it looks like the Bears are going to have some opportunities in it. But, with 3:19 left in the first overtime, they're able to make LA is able to make a 42-yard field goal and win 20-17. And again, the turnover battle, I think, became the big problem. 3 interceptions thrown by the Bears, and the last one was obviously very costly. I'll start off with you, Arun. What were some of your takeaways in this game?
Yeah, this game was crazy. Like, the first half, I thought, with both teams scoring touchdowns, I thought this would be a much higher scoring game. But in the second half, the defenses really clamped down. Nobody scored in the third quarter. Fourth quarter, Rams take the lead with a Kyren Williams touchdown, and that play by Caleb Williams to close out the game was one of the craziest plays I've ever seen, where he's backpedaling all the way back and finally gets the throw off and completes the touchdown pass. Was an insane play. There's some questions of whether the Bears should have gone for 2, but I think in that moment, I think maybe Bears were just relieved that they were going to go to overtime and have a chance to win the game. They got the ball. They got the ball first, but like the Bills, the team that received the ball first, actually lost the game in the OT. And Caleb Williams throwing that interception ended up being very costly. And the Rams, all they had to do is just drive down, get in field goal range. They settled for like a field goal where the Bears decided to not ice the kicker. Sometimes, I guess, maybe once in a while that doesn't pay off, like where they just missed the first time. But I guess
I would have still tried to ice it. I thought it was very strange. I don't.
It's like a double. Like maybe they don't think. Maybe they think it's a practice one or something, but it was the icing could have been done as long, and also maybe going for 2 with all the momentum they had from that touchdown.
I don't know. I don't really blame them for not going for 2 after the touchdown because they would have just gotten so run out of town if they had just tied it up only to lose by 1. You know, like, especially with these new overtime rules and both teams getting a shot at it, I think at that point you sort of let it play out and see how you do. Like,
the great thing is that the playoff overtime rules are a lot different in that it's not a 10-minute. It's essentially a new game because you get a full 15-minute quarter. All 3 of your timeouts. The only difference is that all reviews come from the booth. You have no challenges to utilize. But I think that
do you get new timeouts each quarter though? How does that work? You know,
I don't know. I haven't seen a double.
In the OT, yeah, you get more timeouts.
Yeah. That's interesting. If they go to a second overtime, you know, because if that's the case, then maybe I see why you would hold on to them. But like, I don't know. I feel like I would have definitely used one of my 3 to try to ice it.
It was interesting because they did go for 4th and like short on other occasions of the game, so that was essentially like in the first. I believe one of the first drives of the game, the Bears went for it on 4th down and they missed it. So maybe they didn't feel good about their short yardage situations. Just to play devil's advocate, though, they do have all the momentum. So I could see why they would go for it, but I understand that they would have been run out of town. But I feel like if they lose the game, you're also going to like see a lot of criticism too as well.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Champ? Do you think you would have gone for it for 2, or do you think that
Nope. Because, and again, I get paid to be a recruiting coordinator, not a coach. But no, I would have done exactly what Ben Johnson did. I would have kicked the field goal, taken our chance with overtime. I believe in my defense. Even though our offense did have 3 turnovers in this game, I still believe my defense can do what they need to do. And I would have trusted that. But
they didn't do what they needed to do, I guess.
No, unfortunately they didn't. And then it didn't help that Caleb did throw that interception, which led to the field goal, that led to the victory. That was, oh, man, I'm pretty sure he's going to be sitting on that for several months. That his interception cost his team a chance to go to the NFC Championship game in Seattle. He's going to be sitting on that for a long time. This is another game right here that could have easily been the game of the weekend. It was a close second to that Bills Broncos game, but
I think that was the play of the weekend, though. That touchdown was the
play. The backpedaling.
I'm still trying to figure out how in the fuck Caleb Williams made that throw, because he was backpedaling so much. It was almost like he was doing the moonwalk.
I think it was harder, arguably, than the Hail Mary was that we got last year against them, right?
Yeah, because I mean, looked like he was just throwing it blind, or somehow he saw maybe in the corner of his eye that Komet was coming back across, and he just threw it to a spot, and Komet just happened to be there.
Oh, I just can't believe that he could get that much on a throw, backpedaling like that. Like, that shows incredible strength to be able to get the ball that far when backpedaling like that. Like,
and that is why he was the number 1 overall pick last year.
Right. It's funny. They're a couple plays away from whoever wins the battle between, the Commanders and Bears going to the NFC Championship game 2 years in a row. So it's
all those 3 quarterbacks would have gone to the conference championship game. Yeah, Daniels, Drake May, and Caleb Williams.
And talk about like Bo Nix too, another standout quarterback from that sort of generation, right? So,
I mean, look at these quarterback matchups we're about to get in the conference championship game. I know we're not there yet to preview, but these quarterback matchups are crazy. Sam Darnold versus Matt Stafford on the NFC side, and then Bo Nix versus Drake May, 2 guys who got drafted in the same class.
Well, it was Bo Nix until he got hurt.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So now it's Jarrett Stidham versus Drake May. Stidham, Stidham? I don't give a fuck what his last name is. Look at this. You have an MVP candidate against someone who, Rob, you said it earlier, hasn't played 2 years.
And he only has 1 career win. So if he wins 2 wins, he'll have more wins than he had the entire rest of his career.
Denver's cooked. Denver is so
I
cooked.
think against Philip Rivers, maybe. There's still time.
So it's kind of funny that they signed Ben DiNucci as a backup quarterback.
He's good too. I've seen DiNucci in action. He's good. He's
Right.
good.
Well, he was not good for Dallas when he played in the NFL, but he was good in the UFL. So we'll see.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but he still might be a better option than who they got. I don't know. We'll see for sure. But it's funny. They actually did the gimmick where they don't allow people to buy tickets if they don't live in the Rocky Mountain region.
Oh, that's some bullshit.
They're trying to stifle the crazy number of Patriot fans that are about to invade their stadium. So,
you know, Patriots fans travel. You know they travel.
So we got the the NFL Conference Championships. We got the AFC one happening first on CBS at 3 o'clock between the Patriots and Broncos, and then the NFC one will be on Fox at 6:30 next Sunday. I'll start with you, Arun. Who do you got in the Patriots versus Broncos?
I'm going with the Broncos. No, I'm not.
I'm about to say, don't down that hill. Don't down that hill, sir.
Actually, it wouldn't be crazy if the Broncos won because the Patriots have never won in Denver. But I don't think there's any remnants of either team from the Belichick time or I guess even those Peyton Manning teams. But they do have that home field advantage. But it would take a big collapse, which isn't out of the realm of possibility. If Drake May struggled like he did against the Texans, but I don't really see it because I didn't really like the Broncos running game that much. I like the Patriots running game, and cold weather kind of the Patriots are used to that as well. I like Vrabel. I guess Peyton versus Vrabel is an interesting coaching matchup. So maybe Peyton has something up his sleeve for this game, but without Knicks, it's kind of hard. I can't do it. It might be maybe the Patriots take them lightly, but I think at the end of the day, Drake May is good enough. I think it's the Patriots get to the Super Bowl for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting that there's how many 14-3 teams are in the Final Four. I got 3 out of the 4 are 14-3 teams. So all of them definitely have had some winning ways throughout this season, and I don't know. It's going to be the early line is New England by 5.5 on the road, right? So at least gives you a sense of where people are leaning right now. I would be surprised if the Broncos could do it. They are getting J.K. Dobbins back, which could help, but I just don't know how the chemistry with this quarterback is gonna go.
Bo Nix isn't that good, and Stidham is the answer. Nah,
right, exactly. Imagine if they pull off an Eagles, right, where a player comes in and
Nick Foles or Jeff Hostetler were
you see that Nick Foles did say that the Patriots are bad against teams starting their backup quarterback in championship situations. So that would be pretty funny if Nick Foles is Nostradamus in this case. All right, Champ, what are your thoughts on this one?
Listen, I can't sit here and joke and say the Broncos are cooked and then turn around and pick them. What kind of person would I be? Of course, I'm picking the Patriots. The Broncos are cooked. They have a starter. They have a starter who hasn't played in 2 years and has only 1 win. I mean, what else can they do with that? There's not much they can do with that. So, I mean,
do you think it's going to be within 5.5, or do you think it's going to be a blowout?
I'm not gonna say it's gonna be a blowout, but I think they're gonna go over that 5.5 though. Honestly, I think they are because New England's defense already showed last week that they can get the ball, they can get turnovers because they're just that fucking good. So I would totally just I can't in good conscience pick Denver in this one. I gotta go New England.
Yeah. All right, the other side, we got the Rams and the Seahawks. The West is the best. and it just seems that way. It's hard to pick against the Seahawks. They've been looking so good on both sides of the ball. Arun, what are some of your takeaways in this matchup?
Well, it's interesting because Sam Darnold last year was eliminated by the Los Angeles Rams in a 27-9 game, but we also talked about the Broncos being eliminated by the Bills like the previous year. I think we could throw recent history out the window. The Rams defense, though, did play fairly well against the Bears. Their offense kind of pulled it together in the end. It's a division rivalry game, but I think I'm going to go with Seattle in this one. I think their defense has been on point. The running game has been great, and even if Sam Darnold, I think he just needs to be a little bit better. He barely threw for over 100 yards, but I think Champ alluded to maybe another week he gets a little bit healthier, and I don't really think they needed him to throw that much against the 49ers either. So I think the home field is a thing, and I think I'm going to go with Seattle.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. The games have been pretty close. The game that was in LA won 21-19. So they won by just 2 points in a relatively low-scoring affair. And then the game that was in Seattle, Seattle won 38-37, a 1-point win, right? So you're talking about, basically 1 point separating these two teams across two games, right? So, it's been very close in both matchups. I'm very excited for this one. The Seattle is favored right now by 2.5, just under what you normally get just for being the home team. So even the bookies think that it's a pretty close matchup. Champ, what are some of your takeaways?
Seattle, Arun said it best. Seattle's playing some of his best ball, and they've been very, very consistent, both on the defensive side of the ball and the offensive side of the ball. I mean, after this ass whooping against the 49ers, I felt like the Legion of Boom got resurrected. The way they was out there hitting and getting turnovers and just playing absolutely stout defense, that reminded me of the Legion of Boom. And it seems like the Legion of Boom are back in Seattle, and I think that's what they're going to need against this duo of wide receivers that are absolute killers in Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua. You're going to need Legion of Boom defense in order to keep those guys down and have to deal with Kyron Williams, who not only can run the ball, but also come out of the backfield. And Matthew Stafford is a surgeon, especially if he's got time in the pocket. He is a surgeon when it comes down to that. So Seattle is going to definitely need its Legion of Boom defense, and it's definitely going to need Darnold to be a little bit more healthy and for them to be able to not only just run the ball, but throw as well. I'm not stupid enough to pick LA. They're good, but I'm going to say it's going to be Patriots and Seattle in the Super Bowl. And it's going to be a Super Bowl rematch.
Yeah, it's interesting because the very first game of the regular season was Seattle versus San Francisco. And San Francisco won that game 17-13. And then after that loss, they were able to win 7 out of their next 8 games, right? And I was like, oh man, Seattle, they're looking so good, but I was waiting for the other shoe to drop because I just didn't believe that they were going to be that good going into the season. And they end the season with another 7-game win streak, including beating San Francisco in Seattle, giving themselves the home field advantage, which was important because with that home field advantage, they got the bye, and then they got to win the next game. And so they won that game big by 41-6. So they basically beat San Francisco 2 weeks in a row for them, right? There was a bye in between. But it'll be interesting to see that they now play the Rams, a team that's been played very tough. So the Seahawks have had a tough season, but they've really sort of taken care of business in a real way. Their only losses this year is that first San Francisco game, a 38-35 loss to Tampa Bay. That was very close in Seattle. They lost in LA 21-19, and that's their last loss. So they look very good this year. So I'm definitely picking the Seahawks and the Patriots in a rematch, just like Champ said as well. So, Champ, any final thoughts on these before we start to wrap things up?
No, I mean, this was a good divisional round weekend outside of the Seattle Seahawks just curb stomping the Niners. Every game was pretty close till the very end. And it made for some exciting football and made you ready, want to be like wanting more in terms of the conference championships, which are going to be really good matchups with LA being the lowest seed left. And you have two number ones and a number two. This is going to be a fun weekend coming up. I cannot wait to sit back and watch all of this. I really wish the Commanders were in this, but we don't get that this year. Hopefully next year. But yeah, I can't wait for this weekend. This weekend's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's hopefully the weather will be good enough that it doesn't knock out any of our power or anything because there's weather coming our way. But yeah, it should be some fun football on Sunday. I'm excited that we don't have anything too crazy planned and so we can sort of sit back and watch it. I do want to mention that the Wizards have now lost 7 in a row. And we talk about that. We will talk about them when they or win some games. Today was actually relatively close, and this week they've had some close games, losing the 119 to 105, 128 to 115, not too bad, and then 121 115 in that last game. And then this game was a home game from like an early afternoon MLK one, and we only lost that game 110 to 106. So Arun, we haven't.
Who remembers the Water Boy? Who remembers the Water Boy? The movie with Adam Sandler.
Yeah, I do.
Rob Schneider's character. Oh no, we suck again.
Yes.
That was the sound I immediately heard when you said the Wizards on a 7-game losing streak. Oh no, we suck again.
Yeah.
They started to get it together. They were starting to look good. And now they lost 7 in a row. We suck again. Fuck.
Yeah, and we made a big trade, but we're not even playing that guy. Arun, what are some of your takeaways?
I just think this trade has been hilarious because the Hawks have also lost like pretty much every game that they've had since the CJ McCollum trade, and they're complaining about CJ McCollum a lot, and they're actually trying to win. So they lost a 112 to 110 game, and they also, I don't know, it's just funny. And the Wizards are actually just trying to lose and keep their top 8 protected draft pick. So like.
Yeah, and then the Wizards said they're waiting until after the All-Star break to determine when Trae Young will be cleared from his injuries and stuff like that. So it's going to be another little while before we get to see Trae.
I'm wondering how long this winning streak could go. It could go pretty long. We'll see.
Yeah.
But they did play pretty well. They had a couple moral victories the last 2 games. Like, oh, we played kind of close, but like this was a 4-point game, and I think the last game was also close. But it's not looking good for the win total for the Wizards.
Yep. So some good news for Defenders fans.
Let's go.
We got Jordan Tiamu is coming back, and they're running back their whole entire quarterback group from last year from the championship team. So that's kind of exciting, and yeah, they're starting to gear up, and just not that long until spring football is upon us. So, Champ, what are some of your takeaways from that news?
I cannot wait. I'm so happy that Teamo's back. He knows this offense. He knows these guys. So he should be a lot more on point. And he has a bit of a chip on his shoulder that he fell short of being named the league MVP last year, even though I think statistically he had a slightly better year than the guy who actually won MVP. But he just went on and went and won a championship, said, look, you can have the MVP gimmick. I'll just go and win a championship. So I'm really excited that John is going to be back at the QB position. And I think that this offense should be a lot more stronger, knowing that you have that continuity. That's a lot of UFL teams can't say that, but we can say that we have that continuity of the quarterback and hopefully the same receiving core that he had last year, the same running back core he's got. So there's continuity there. The only thing that I'm worried about is hopefully there's continuity on the offensive line, because the line is what's going to help Teamo be able to pick these defenses apart. But I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Yeah. So I am excited as well. Arun, any final thoughts before we start to wrap things up?
Just some RG3 trivia.
Okay.
What is RG3's record in the playoffs as a player?
Did he win one game? No. Yeah.
0-1.
0-1. Okay,
In the injury game.
yeah. Yeah, I was at it. The Green Bay one, right?
No, the Seattle one.
Oh, the Seattle one. I was also at that one.
The
Yeah.
Green Bay one, I think, was Kirk.
Oh, you're right. It was Kirk Cousins. I was at both
And
of
the
them.
last game that RG3 was in the playoffs was with the Ravens, and they also lost that game to the Buffalo Bills.
Ah.
So,
But he didn't start, so he's not 0-2.
but he did start that season, and he went 0-1 for the Baltimore Ravens.
RG3 good where he is. All right, he good where he is.
Yeah, exactly.
He can come on the show anytime. RG3, you can come out.
Right, there you go. We'll have an RG3 versus Arun debate. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll be too busy clowning him for that debate to happen. I'm just saying.
Yeah. All right. Well, sounds good. Well, thank you guys so much for helping break it down. I'm excited next week. We will talk about the championship games. It'll be episode 399, the last one of the 300s. And then again this week on Wednesday edits, sometime around 12:30, we'll celebrate 700 videos on my channel. We'll actually edit and record a live trailer for the channel as well. If people want to check out the scuba stuff, go check that out as well. Grow Scuba. You can also check out that Bitly if you want to check out a snorkel stuff as well. Lots of family vlogs and other content on there. Also check out the Instagram and the YouTube for videos from last week's Big Come From Behind victory. Thank you again to Janaea and Gil for helping me cover the week that was for the Capitals. Obviously, getting to go to that comeback was the highlight of the week. Unfortunately, we lost the other 3 games, but I appreciate them helping break it down. I love talking wrestling, obviously, with Sith and Champ. And then thank you, Arun, for talking some football with us. Congratulations to Indiana for becoming the championship. It's second team in major college football history to finish 16-0. The last time was 1894 Yale team. Wow. So shout out to the Ivy League for that. But with that, I think we're going to probably end the stream there. I'm just looking to see if there's anybody that we want to raid or anything like that. Just looking real quick.
Shout out to Frank L. Polk, class of 1894 for Yale.
Nice. I think we're going to probably skip the raid tonight, I think. Just because I got a busy day tomorrow. But thank you, everyone, for tuning in and being a part of it. Thank you for everyone for contributing. Champ, again, thank you for the resub. 40 months, which is pretty... 49 months, I'm sorry. That's wild. Next month will be 50. I can't believe that we've been affiliate for that long, but definitely go check out the No Spots podcast. And Champ and Sith do a great job over there. And Champ, you want to give any more shout outs to any of the shows you're doing this week?
Yes, so we are going to be doing episode 317 of the podcast. It'll be recorded this Friday because of Saturday night's main event. And then next Friday, again, we'll be recording. That'll be 318 because we'll be previewing the Royal Rumble. And then next Saturday, we'll be doing live reactions to the Royal Rumble. It'll be a midday stream because of the start time of 2 p.m. because they'll be over in Saudi Arabia. But that's what we got going on. Make sure you check us out on Facebook.com/NoSpotsPod, X.com/TrueNoSpotsPod, as well as our streaming platforms, Twitch and Kick at True No Spots Pod.
One real last question for you, Champ.
Yes.
Who do you think who's going to win the fatal 4-way this week?
Orton.
All right.
It's nothing. It's nothing against Trick. It's nothing against Sammy. It's nothing against Damian. But the story of Randy and Drew makes sense because during Drew's first WWE championship run, it happened during the pandemic, and he lost the championship to Randy Orton during that pandemic era before getting it back. So there's a story there between Drew and Randy. And now you have the championship in play. So it makes more sense for Randy to win the four-way because there's already a pre-made story between the two of them from 6 years ago. Mm-hmm. So it makes more sense for Randy to win it over anybody else. Though I would not be surprised if Sammy won it because they need like a underdog babyface to go up against someone like a Drew McIntyre. So why not Sammy? Again, Damian and Drew had their issues. You know, they can rehash that. Cool. Trick, he's an arrogant heel going up against a psychotic heel. I don't like heel versus heel, and not for Trick Williams, who's only just now coming up to the main roster. He's held a world championship before, so he could be in that spotlight, but not yet. It's too soon for Trick. Not yet.
I also think it opens up opportunities in the Royal Rumble. Maybe Trick, you could see him in the Royal Rumble. Also, Damian Priest in the Royal Rumble could be exciting as well. So I can see that. I mean, I always like Orton in the Royal Rumble, but I can see what you're saying, and that'll be an interesting matchup. So I just want to get your thoughts on record. We'll see if you're right next week. We can talk about it. So
absolutely.
But thank you again, Champ. Thank you, Arun. Thank you to Sith earlier, Janaea, and Gil. This has been Robbie G. Definitely go check out the YouTube, the Facebook, the Instagram. Lots of more content coming out on all those platforms all week long. I appreciate all the support as we are on this road to 400. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We'll see you guys.